There's a show in town, it's going down. Every week we're back on solid ground. Steel toe slipping, but we're gripping. Got the tea to spill, it's always flipping. From April's script to Aaron's glee. Oh, this drama's just a spree. Polydrama, legal trauma. Another win, oh, that's the karma. This little piggy went to YouTube. This little piggy's on Rumble now. This little piggy's begging for dollars. And this little piggy's breaking down. Wow! Every week we're cabbage flow. Tune in for this little piggy show. From revenge porn to felony, it's a circus, can't you see? The toe is bent, the goal is spent. His empire crumbles, all hell sent. April's playlist on repeat. Aaron's lies we can't defeat. The countdown's on, it won't take long to see this piggy squeal his song. This little piggy went to YouTube. This little piggy's on Rumble now. This little piggy's begging for dollars. And this little piggy's breaking down. Wow! Every week moving cabbage flow. Tune in for this little piggy show. Oh, this little piggy ain't missing a thing. Just sit back, laugh, and watch the king.
Welcome to This Little Piggy, a weekly roundtable discussion about the Steel Toe Morning Show and its cum-devouring host, Aaron Imholte. I'm Carl from Moody's Podcast, and with me, it's just Moody. It's me and Moody today, holding on the fort. What's up, Moody?
Hey, I feel like we're all, like all your co-hosts are turning into an archetype. You've got Blind Mike, you've got me. You're going to just start collecting dark-haired dudes with beards.
Oh, you're saying they're all the same. I thought you were saying that each character had its own distinct characteristic, like, the fact that you're Indian, Blind Mike's blind. I thought that's where you're going with that.
We all have our disabilities that we need to deal with.
I wanted to say right off the bat, I apologize to Peter Sky Parker. I have been reinstated. I know last week I got a pink slip. I was watching. I was fired from this very show multiple times.
Well, you betrayed the franchise. You went somewhere else.
Oh, was it
You went
my contract?
Point Devil Point. You went Point Devil Point. You directly competed. We've got a no compete thing happening.
Okay.
What's going on? Why is your allegiance there?
I appreciate you showing me mercy as I was on my my Stuttering John trip last weekend.
Well, as you can see, like, I'm the staple of this franchise, and that's not a position any franchise needs. We're in trouble. We're in trouble here.
I disagree. I'm looking at the comments, and everyone just wants Moody.
Just Moody. You don't want that.
They're like,
no
let's
one
get
wants
Tukey out
that.
of here. All right, good. Let's get Melton out of here. Perfect. Carl, what's he doing here? We just want Moody and spreadsheets and charts.
You can Mad Libs every one of our names, and it's the same argument could be had for, like, oh yeah, this show would be way better without this person, and that comment is just repeated for all of us.
I don't know about that, Moody. You bring a little special something to this program that we appreciate, and I tell you, this program needs you because we got to hit the goal today. supertip.gg/WATP is where you can go to support the goal and help us hit it. And of course, you can always become a member on this channel. We do bonus episodes. I'm doing one with Dick Masterson coming up next week. We do a crossover show, and Clyde Lords just became a YouTube member. Thank you very much, Clyde Lords. You will be able to watch all the bonus shows. Go to the members tab, and you can see all the ones that we've done in the past, and all the ones that will happen in the future will be there as well. Skunkman says, Carl is deleting my comments, which means he's a pussy boy. What? Are you actually scared of me hitting you with a little bitty car? I've not deleted your comments, sir. That's
someone threatening you with a car?
I don't know what that is, actually. Not sure what the deal is. But apparently, I'm deleting people's comments.
Okay.
Even though we just showed it up on the screen. And
deleting people's comments, doxing people.
Right. We're going to get into that. I'm going to address all the controversies, but
okay.
Aaron's been having a hell of a week. I feel like, and I think I titled this episode, Another Win for the Toe. I feel like Aaron's feeling really good about himself right now. He's getting a lot of wins. And by that, I mean that bad things happened to Nick.
Right. It's not just bad things happening to Nick, but also bad things happening to him, but his haters not capitalizing on them enough. So he gets the win because they didn't take the L. So they're forfeiting the win. So
I'm
he
glad
gets
you
it.
understand this better than I do, because I just see this and I go, I don't know how this benefits Aaron at all. I don't get how this is a win. And I was actually reading through Kiwi Farms today, and those
Oh,
people
yeah?
are very excited.
About Nick or
Oh
about
yeah.
Aaron?
Oh no,
Yeah.
about Nick. They must be in for some kind of cash reward or something. I don't
It's
know if they made a bet in Vegas about serving 30 days in jail, because they seem to be very excited for this W.
as I understand. So just to catch up, this morning Nick was sentenced to 30 days in jail. But as I understand, those are stayed, but that wasn't immediately obvious when you read it. So he'll go over it on his show tonight. But I don't think he's actually going to jail unless he violates his probation, as I understand it. I might be wrong, but
I
yeah.
was confused about that too. Let me pull that up real quick, because this, of course, came down just this morning. This is the big news everyone's talking about. So, local confinement ordered on April 18th, 2025. Defendant is sentenced to 30 days in county jail. He's already credited with 2 days, and he starts on August 1st. So he's going to do August 1st through August 28th, I suppose,
Mhm.
based on what this is saying.
Yeah, but also that second to last line says maybe deferred of complaint with probation.
Yeah. So what does that mean? I do not know legalese at all. You study this stuff.
So I don't know much about it. What I understand from people who've spoken to Nick is that it's deferred, like it's stayed. So he doesn't need to serve that unless unless he violates probation.
But why would they have to write that into it? And why would it start August 1st? Wouldn't that just be if anytime he violates probation, it's 30 days in prison?
Yeah,
Why would he?
it's real confusing to me as well. I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't live in Minnesota. I don't know.
So it looks like the weapons and child endangerment have both been dismissed.
Mhm.
So he's just being convicted on the drug charge. And so that's what this entails. And
Yeah.
if you look at the second page of this, let me zoom in on this. So this is what probation consists of. So monitoring, defendant placed on supervised probation for 5 years. This is what the Kiwi Farms people are very excited about, because
Yeah.
they don't think he's going to be able to handle these conditions. Do not use or possess alcohol or drugs except for as prescribed. Could you imagine him being prescribed whiskey? Dr. Steve, can we do this? Is this a thing if I ever end up on probation? Random testing, submit to random drug and alcohol testing as directed by agent. Must submit a baseline test as soon as possible. So that's the thing that everyone says. There's no way Rekeita can stay sober. He's definitely going to violate this probation. It's over for him. What else we have here? Remain law-abiding, cognitive skill training. What is cognitive skill training? What does that mean? So you got to like study flashcards or something? Moody, you still with me? Uh-oh, I lost you. I lost you, buddy. I'm sure you're saying very intelligent things that are very enlightening and helping us all. It says, sign probation agreement, sign and comply with probation agreement, meet with the agent as directed. That's kind of a nothing thing. Do not use or possess firearms, ammunition, or explosives. Do not use or possess. Does he have to sell his guns? What do you mean he can't possess firearms? That's interesting. Obtain permission from agent before leaving the state. We know that Aaron also has that condition, as we see he's going to Florida next month for vacation. Follow all state and federal criminal laws. Yeah, I think that's kind of redundant. Didn't we already say that? Contact your probation officer. Tell your probation officer within 72 hours if you have contact with law enforcement. Tell them if you've been charged with any new crime. Tell them if you change your address. Sign release of information as directed. Cooperate with the search of your person, residence, vehicle, workplace, property, and things as directed by your probation officer. He's not going to like that. If I know Nick, he is not a fan of being searched. He's talked about that a few times. Follow all recommendations of discharge from Divine Hope Counseling dated 9/11/2024. Uh-oh, Moody, you're still getting nothing from you, buddy. All right. And then there was one. He'll figure it out. This is the other part on here that I don't know if everybody saw. I see people talking about it. he has been ordered to perform community service work for 80 hours. Now, I don't know a ton about the law, but I will say typically you wouldn't be given community service and jail time, which makes me think Moody might be right about the jail time part.
Okay, I'm back.
Hey,
can you hear
all
me
right.
okay?
Yes, sound great.
Okay, great. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I think I got cursed. When Patrick went away, I got the technical issues.
So I asked you a question back here.
Mhm.
What's cognitive skill training? Any idea?
I guess he needs to think about like how to not do drugs, I guess, if presented with drugs or alcohol. How do you turn it down?
Fair enough. So this is the part that I thought was interesting. So he has been ordered to perform 80 hours of community service. And the point that I was making is that typically they would give you community service or jail time, but not both. So does that help your argument saying that maybe he isn't serving 30 days jail time necessarily?
Yeah, I don't know. We need some lawyer to explain it. I don't think I'm the best person to get into it.
It's funny. You have a lot of confidence when Melton's out here. You'll argue with him. You'll talk about
this
straight up facts. But then when it's me and I ask you a question, you go, Carl, what do I know? I'm just just hanging out. What do I do?
This is outside my special interest. My special interest is Aaron and things happening with Aaron, not all of this.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, anyway, this is the reason why there's a lot of victory laps happening in Aaron's world.
We'll see what comes of it. But our focus here isn't really Nick. It's always been Aaron. And that's, I think, one of the things that has, I guess, started to seep into this world as the Nick Rekeita people start to come into here, is that they think that anything that is not anti-Nick is, they're very much like anti-Nick. So anything that's anti-Nick is good. So if something
that's why I'm talking about it. Moody, this is it's all a part of the same thing. So there's a ton of Nick Rekeita haters, much more so than I think than Steel Toe detractors. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
It's a pretty big group of people who do not like Nick Rekeita and enjoy his misery.
Nick's got a way larger footprint and like relevance on the internet than Aaron does. So Aaron is boring and difficult to get into, and it takes like a special type of person who's interested in delving deep into someone like fundamentally uninteresting in order to pull out the stuff that we're interested in.
But I think that it's important to address the stuff that's going on with Nick because that is affecting Aaron's show. Aaron talks about it a lot. He gets very excited about it. Today was a big victory for him. He was really feeling all of his feels because bad things were happening to Nick. And he was on that Kiwi Farms thread relishing in every comment as they were going through.
He says that's the first thing he does every morning is go open up Kiwi Farms. Before he kisses his children, he goes and opens up Kiwi Farms and sees what they're talking about because they're always right about everything, which is like, I don't think there's ever a forum or a community which you can point to and say these people are one cohesive group and have one thought about how anything works. So absolutely, there's going to be people that do get it right and people that don't get it right. Like if you throw a bunch of spaghetti at a dartboard, some marinara sauce is going to get on the bullseye.
The more interested you are in a certain team or side, the less subjective you're going to be. So I know that you, me, Patrick, Tukey, we try to come at this as subjective as possible. And we'll come on and we'll talk about if Aaron does something well or something goes well for him. We'll discuss that. You've brought it up in the Discord server and stuff, but we're all biased. We're not going to get things right because we do have a vested interest in things.
I think there's difference. So there's a difference between being fundamentally wrong about something and carrying on those lies forward and looking at things through like a lens of what's the worst or like most uncharitable thing this thing could mean. So one is like a subjective skew on something. The other is like you make up lies about someone and then you constantly repeat those lies as if that was the thing that you're looking at. There's so much shit going on in Aaron's life. You don't need to lie about him in order to criticize it or laugh at it.
I agree with you, but you understand my point. There's nobody who would watch this show who would say, "Oh, this is a fair and balanced approach to Aaron Imholte on Steel Toe."
Oh,
I would love to get
not.
the counter argument on here. The roundtable discussion should be like a back and forth between people who think very differently about subject matter. We haven't accomplished that yet, but maybe someday someone will come on and have Aaron's back. I don't know. It's possible.
Look, we've seen there's a there's a train crash happening, and we're sitting there with our popcorn watching it. Like
Right.
It's fun. When it stops being fun, I guess the show will end up stopping. But we're here because there's something going on and something to laugh at. Eventually, that'll stop. I would hope, for the sake of its kids, that'll stop one day. But for now,
Well, I think the point you were just making there is that Aaron is a known liar, and we're gonna play a clip later where he talks about how he's never lying, he never gets it wrong, and I have a number of examples. I'm sure you'll be able to pull out a few too, where he definitely was lying about specifically what he's saying he never lies about. And so, yes, it is. Our job is easy in that way because we can go on here and just go, "Oh yeah, here's a clip of him saying this," and then 3 weeks later, 2 months later, 1 year later, it's just the opposite of that.
It's fundamental. It's fun. Like this is where I think I've said this before, but like we're very much in a post-truth world where you've got so many politicians, news agencies, and media just lying to you all the time about things. It feels genuinely cathartic to point at some very obvious bad lies and be like, "Oh yeah, that's a lie." Because and it's so much the lies that come out of Aaron are so stupid and so easily disproven,
right?
that
so we're in a post-truth world. When was the truth world happening? What were the dates on that? What era can you point to?
Well, the truth world is look. Do we want to get into politics?
I'm trying to start a fight with you.
Right.
I've heard that that's the fun thing to do. There's only two guys on this show is to start a fight. All right, let's. I want to start with Coach Scott, the video that Doom grabbed for us. Coach Scott addressing the boxers at his boxing gym, talking about Aaron specifically, and then we'll get Aaron's response to that. And then after that, Aaron, in that same clip, talks about, I think it's a Salmon 19 clip. In that clip, Aaron talks about how Keanu went on her show and said that April said Aaron never abused her. So I have that clip too, so we can see if that's true. Because I was like, really? That's what happened? There's all this proof going on Keanu's show? I'm not aware of that. But first, I want to thank Ricky Bev for coming in.
Can Moody fly solo?
Can Moody fly solo? That's the question. What do you think, Moody? Would you ever do this show by yourself?
Yes, but it's different. Like it'd be way different than anything else. Like we would turn up the autism. It would be a PowerPoint presentation. It would not be a show. It would not be a roundtable discussion.
Right.
And look, not everyone's into that, and that's fine. It'd
be like when Trucker Andy tried to do a Simpsons trivia show on my channel last weekend. You probably didn't.
I know some of those words, but I don't know what anything you said meant.
Ellen Thatchett coming on. No, Ellen in the chat. Ellen in the chat. $10.
Right.
The origin of the hackening is the screenshot of Aaron's Google search history. Nick's and April, Kiwi Farms, then Pornhub Cuck Stuff. Has Toe addressed this screenshot at all?
Very interesting that you point this out, because this is at the crux of a lot of the current thing he has against Nick, against Patrick, against all his detractors, because there's a big conspiracy against him.
Right.
Nick posted a screenshot that seemed to be from Aaron's history. Then Aaron came out and said he's posting my history. So he said that is mine.
He confirmed it. And I remember that it was a tweet, if I'm not mistaken, that Nick put out that showed like 1:59 p.m. Kiwi Farm, this thread, 2:01
the thread,
Kiwi Farm, this thread, and then
that
2:02 Pornhub.
Yeah.
Cuckold.
So that thread was talking about Nick Rekeita's kids and one of them testing positive for cocaine.
Yeah, that got me real excited.
That leak that came out. He read that, and then within minutes of reading that, he went to Pornhub, jerked off to cuck porn. So it looked like he accessed cuck porn, and then about 20 minutes later, he went to Twitter again and looked at April's profile. That is, it's incredibly weird and troubling. If that sort of information had come out against any of his detractors, that they were reading about him and then jerking off, like he would nonstop be talking about that, but he refuses to address this.
Well, the fact that he admitted that that was his data or whatever, like, Moody, wouldn't you just go, I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't. I use incognito windows. I don't know what you're talking about.
The other thing is this also a pretty antisocial pointed this out. It mirrors a little bit the stuff that's happening with the revenge porn, because in the revenge porn, he was disseminating non-consensually lewd pictures, like intimate pictures of someone.
Sure.
And that's very troubling and bad for all the reasons that a normal person can list. Whereas this, he's getting mad at Nick and allegedly Melton as well for disseminating bad things that they had access to, which they shouldn't have had access to. In one case, one is an FBI federal crime that absolutely everyone should be against, and the other is apparently horse shit that he pled guilty to. So yeah, it's like,
he said again this week, he had no idea that was illegal and thought that that's what guys do. They just share pictures of. I've
got those clips and they're disgusting. If Adam was here, I think he'd divert his anger towards me to anger towards Aaron.
Okay.
If he'd read about.
I am not doing any more super tips until you, Carl, send cinder blocks to Perry Caravello. More filet fish, more boats, more cinder blocks to Studio 102. Fuck Tom B.
All right, we got this last night on Who Are These Socials? So people are looking to get more people sending shit to Perry Caravello that will annoy him for that stream.
The real reason I kicked Aaron out of the boxing gym was because I came in late to the gym one night, and there he was, jerking the chicken to some lawyer on Kiwi Farms.
You know, that's a joke, obviously, but Aaron has said that he used to go into his place of employment and jerk off and then leave his cum rags on his boss's desk. So
leave tissues for his boss to come across. It's disgusting.
So it's not that crazy that Coach Scott would see that.
After reading Kiwi Farms this morning, I was so turned on that I had to kneel at the business end of a glory hole drinking literally gallons of semen. Another win for the toe.
Good for you, Aaron. So that's his favorite pastime, so I'm excited for him. Tell Dick Masterson yelling does not equal funny. I'll let him know. CCC, Dick is one of the funniest guys on the net. Oh, wow. We're arguing L in the chat versus Cool Cut Casting now. Raper butt. I think his sentence is 30 days with provision. If he behaves, it saves the court forcing him into jail.
Mm-hmm.
That very well could be the case. I just thought that was what probation meant anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, it's because also the crime is going to be dismissed eventually. So it's if he serves his probation, they drop it off his record as if it never happened. It feels weird to me for him to end up serving time in jail, and then later on, if it gets dismissed, he would have served time in jail for a crime that isn't on his record. It feels strange, but
it is strange.
I don't know. Like, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not from Minnesota.
Well,
There's someone who will
Aaron
know.
definitely thought that he was spending time in jail, but let's back up real quick. Let's start with this video that Doom posted. This is Coach Scott addressing the boxing gym members.
This is on Thursday evening.
This is on Thursday?
Yeah, when Aaron is usually, these were the trainings that Aaron would spar in.
Right. He would work Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night. Well, Sunday night too with the members only. So those were his work nights. And Thursday, he only did the morning show, and he can go to the gym on Thursday nights.
Where's this clip, penis wrinkle?
So again, just a reminder. So the other thing too is some of you probably don't know a past gentleman that used to just spar and help you guys out.
All right, we'll need to pause every 10 seconds or so.
A gentleman who used to just spar and help you guys out. I didn't hear the word coach in there. I didn't hear that at all. It's weird.
I transcribed this.
Okay.
He's saying here, so again, just a reminder, the other thing too is some of you probably don't know about the gentleman that used to just spar and help you guys out. So it's he's recast Aaron into this role of being a sparring person, which like they used to call him Coach Aaron, which is like I think calling someone an auntie out of respect, but that person might not be your actual aunt or uncle. But he used to spar and train the players. This is a position that is covered by Safe Sport. So anyone who has any sort of power over players, including trainers and sparring partners, they're outlined quite explicitly that they need to be compliant with it. I think Coach Scott didn't realize that. He thought it was just coaches. And so he went through this like cute little loophole dance where they stopped referring to Aaron as a coach and started referring to him as a guy, an attendee or a former attendee or a sparring partner. Until now, I think, Safe Sport would have gotten in touch with him and told him that's not right.
This is an odd thing to stream as well. And we'll get into Aaron's response to this. I know that this guy, Jonathan Geyer, likes to stream stuff from the boxing gym. But why the conversation about certain members and what their status is? This isn't like a pep rally thing. This isn't important information for the general public at all.
So he streams the entire Thursday. Like there's a Thursday and I think the Tuesday as well. He does both of those. And there's a bit of training and warm up beforehand. There's this, which is the all hands. Coach Scott is addressing the players, taking care of anything administrative or anything that.
Oh, I see. I know, Moody. I see what's happening here. I'm just telling you, it's boring AF. I don't know why this would be streamed on the internet.
He needs to start the stream at the beginning to get people trickling in. He's got. He gets about 100 to 200 views on this sometimes. Ooh. I think just because. And I don't know if he's realized this or not, but if he films in portrait mode, like on his phone, YouTube will recommend that to people that are on their phones. So people who are interested in boxing will get this to come up. Anything that's horizontal, that's live on his channel, gets almost no views. So that's what he's leveraging here.
Can no longer be if you haven't heard, he can no longer be a part of the boxing.
Okay, if you haven't heard. He can no longer be part of the boxing. And we're assuming he's talking about one Aaron Imholte.
Now, Aaron in the past has said that there's another guy who got into some trouble. So when Scott was addressing about a guy who could no longer be here anymore, it's a guy who had a similar name to Aaron, but not quite Aaron.
It started with an A, but yeah, it wasn't him, right.
This court case was just last week.
Oh, he's definitely talking about Aaron. His court case was just last week.
It might be someone else. It might be
Aaron was in court. He was
in
court. All right.
And basically, when he shared a picture online that he wasn't supposed to do.
Okay, so I think I understood that, but help me out, Modi. He shared a picture online that he's not supposed to do. Is that what he said?
That's exactly what he said. So maybe there's another guy.
Another guy's name starts with A who helps out with sparring and is there on Thursdays. Shared a picture online. It was in court last week. Right.
It's a big coincidence.
All right, it's possible, sure.
Has nothing to do with boxing, but again, because of behavior, I mean, it's beyond my control. But again, because of that, he can't be here. Once again, pardon me.
So he's singling him out, I should say, specifically to send a message to, you see there's a lot of younger boxers here. Like, hey, if you fuck up, you do the wrong things, you can't box in this gym anymore.
Yeah.
He's making an example out of Aaron.
It's not, boxing isn't just what happens here, but things outside there can impact it.
I've been a part of team sports. Every coach gives you this spiel, and if they can make an example out of someone, they will.
He's given similar spiels about, like, if you don't get good grades, if you can't think, you can't box. So like they use it as this is the thing that they love, which is great. Like that is a good message to send to these kids.
But again, evidently the old guy doesn't know anything. That's me.
That's interesting. That was a little passive aggressive.
Evidently the old guy doesn't know anything.
Yeah. He's saying that he's had a conversation with Aaron. Aaron's like, dude, it's nothing. Don't worry about it. He's like, no, this is a big deal. And Aaron's like, no, it's nothing. And now he's not allowed to be at the gym anymore. He's like, oh, yeah, but I don't know anything. Okay, Aaron, if you say so. Am I reading into this too much? That's what he's saying, right?
Well, he's said in the past, like, this is all internet bullshit. Like, Aaron is he's innocent until proven guilty. He's stuck his neck out for Aaron. I'm not sure if you remember, there was a stream maybe about a month and a half or 2 months ago where he was talking about how like a safe sport will be done soon. This is Aaron. He's one of my favorite guys here. He's a former attendee. This is America, innocent till proven guilty. Well, now he's pled guilty, and this is the result.
And I missed it last week, and I was kind of bummed that I did, because Aaron was able to spin pleading guilty into a big victory for himself. He pled guilty to, what was the revenge porn? What was the specific?
So it's the non-consensual dissemination of intimate images.
Yes. So he pled guilty, gross misdemeanor. He's like, isn't this great? I can finally talk about it now. This is fantastic. Like, no, you just admitted to that thing you said you didn't do, and you told the cops you couldn't remember. You told the judge you weren't sure.
He keeps toning it down as well. He's like, oh, it's just a little, he calls it like a little misdemeanor. Like, it's just a little misdemeanor. It's
like
not
it's
a felony. It's a little
misdemeanor.
It's a gross misdemeanor. It's the biggest misdemeanor that you can get.
It's a disgusting misdemeanor. It's like Patrick Melton's face misdemeanor. That's how gross it is.
Yeah. This, if Bilbo's house was misdemeanors, Gandalf would be the gross misdemeanor walking around it, hitting his forehead on the ceilings.
Lord of the Rings, perfect.
Right.
You nailed it. Way to go, Moody.
I got it.
Well, all I know is this. These two people that didn't listen, the one that got hurt, and again, it's not his fault. He's going out there. Just, just slow down. Again, the enemy's not here when we're smart. I don't know where we get the kill mentality from. It should not be. Period. It just shouldn't be. Well, I got the belt. No, you don't. Not at the expense of somebody else.
T.O. Hank on the boxing license.
So in that, he was saying that Aaron's got this, like, he doesn't know where this, like, vengeance or kill mentality comes from for him. And Aaron's admitted to being a vengeful person.
Yes.
In the past, many times. And we've seen examples of this. He said things like, I can't wait until until my youngest kid turns 18, because I'm going to burn this bitch. I'm going to tell so many stories about her, referring to the mother of his children.
Yep.
He's gone on, like, everything is vengeance. He wants to get revenge on everyone that he thinks has wronged him. And this is Scott.
That was why he got fired from radio. He went after the woman who got the job he wanted in morning radio in Iowa or whatever it was. So he's just like, well, now we have to ruin her life.
We need to bully her off the internet, off her job, so that maybe I could get it.
All right, so let's see what Aaron's response is, because that leaked. Thank you, Doom. Great clip right there. Aaron's going to, oops, that's not the thing I want to do.
In here, he says that all right, there was just that though, what we just clicked away from was him like a week prior saying that the gym had received good news about him returning.
Should I play that? We can summarize it. I mean, yes.
Okay.
What he said was, hey guys, I can't address the safe sports stuff, but there is good news to report. It just hasn't come to me yet. For some reason, they sent it to the gym. They've seen it, so I know about it. I will get it soon, and I'll report back to you.
I have a guess as to what that is.
Please.
That fits into that because it sounds like it's a lie because he's outright contradicting what
it sounds
Scott
like a lie
is saying.
because Aaron said it. Yes, I agree.
Right. So I think what Safe Sports done is realize that this is a red light finding. So violation of a restraining order is immediately you're not allowed to participate in the sport anymore while you're sentenced for that.
Okay.
So I think what the gym ended up getting is, as long as Aaron pleads out and it's not a felony for this revenge porn case, and he completes his probation, serving his probation for the HRO, then he can come back to coaching. So it's sort of giving him a pathway to come back to coaching. So they say
not coaching. He's not qualified for that, right?
Well, he will be.
He would be. Okay.
He would be at this because he applied for the coaching license
when
and
he was
the
bullied
background
into it because we said he didn't have the coaching.
And then the background check triggered him getting expelled or like temporarily suspended from boxing due to.
When does the HRO probationary period, whatever you would call that, when does that run out?
Late August.
Okay.
So another 4 months and a bit of this. And then I think he comes back. I think that's the good news that they would have received. So his suspension probably isn't ending anytime soon. That's the only thing that makes sense to me for this.
I see. Okay. So yeah, so that was the end of that clip was back on the 10th of April. Aaron bragging about how there's good news from Safe Sport, and you'll find out soon. So then this Coach Scott talking about how Aaron's not allowed to be there anymore comes out.
Yeah, Doom made a mistake here with that post that he did. He titled
Doom doesn't make mistakes.
All right. Well, he titled that clip as Coach Scott confirms Aaron is kicked out of the gym, which is not what Coach Scott said. Right. Coach Scott said Aaron can't do the boxing thing anymore, but he's probably still a member of the gym and can come in and hit punching bags and use the machines.
Okay.
And that
yeah,
sort
good
of thing.
point. He can't be a sparring partner. He's not.
Right.
He doesn't have the credentials for that. Right. Okay.
So listen to this with that in mind.
Got it.
Yeah, Dildo, I saw that video Doom put up. That's another weird one from Doom. What is that? The fourth time they claim I've been kicked out of my gym?
I got to stop it right there. Did Doom create an AI Coach Scott to say those things in order to claim that he was kicked out of his gym? That's a weird one from Doom. Doom doesn't add any commentary to it. He just put out a video of what Scott said to the class.
Well, people who watched last week's This Little Piggy would know about this logical fallacy called shifting the goalposts.
Yeah.
Which is something that's happening here. People are referring to this clip of Coach Scott saying that Aaron can't do the boxing thing anymore. But Aaron has shifted the goalposts to be about the title of the Doom clip as opposed to the things that Coach Scott has said.
Got it. Okay.
That's strange because yesterday I was there boxing. And Wednesday, I was there renewing my membership when Scott said, man, we really miss you on Thursdays. I hope they get that review done so we can have you back soon. So very, very strange.
That is very strange because you just said on the 10th that the review was already done and that the communication was already sent to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And then Coach Scott yesterday said, oh, man, I hope they figure out this review thing soon.
That's why I think it's like months from now, he'll be allowed back. Yeah. As long as nothing bad happens. That's the only way this makes sense to me, because otherwise it's all contradictory with each other.
God, you really can just drop the needle anywhere on this guy, can't you?
Yeah, he got his kids.
What's he doing?
Cardiff's kids will have her art on display at Hackamania, and you'll be able to scan QR codes on there and maybe purchase things.
Look at this. I got in the mail. I haven't sent a note yet. I'm going to a painting from Cardiff's kids that she was actually hired to do this by Conspire Theory on X. Also, Skinny Chad Zumak, you might know him as. But he does this great art of me as a troll, and then he hired Cardiff's kids to do a painting of it. Pretty fantastic. So that'll be going up on the wall shortly here. We'll have find a space for that.
Yeah, mine's I think mine was done a lot quicker than yours. It wasn't fully colored in.
Oh, look at that.
But I love this picture of me. This is me after an argument with Patrick again. There we go. Thanks Cardiff's
Very
kids.
good. Cardiff's kids rules. All right, back to the clip.
Now, you can believe me, who's told you about who they've said that you're kicked out 15 times now, and I've been right every time. Or you can believe someone who's really having a hard time with my plea deal and seething very, very hard. I'll leave it up to you guys. Some of you aren't the smartest people, but safe money's over here.
So, what a smug prick.
There's two logical fallacies.
Douchebag.
Two fallacies here. One is shifting the goalposts about being kicked out of the gym rather than not allowed to participate in boxing. And the other is called a false dilemma, which is saying that you're either believing me or believing Nick. Both of you could be lying about things. Doesn't mean that because one lies, the other's telling the truth. Yeah, the both things can be both true or false at the same time.
Yes.
So for those at home, this is
I love that he references his track record. This is the thing that I want to dig into. I think he brings it up again, but in case he doesn't. So he says, I've never lied about any of this stuff. So of course you got to believe me. Now let me fill in some of the lies that I can remember. I didn't go back to the archives, it's just off the top of my head. He said that when Safe Sport took away his license, that he'd be reinstated by that weekend.
Yes.
This is going to happen in 24 hours.
48 hours. All this for a drop of blood within 48 hours or at the latest next week.
He also said that he was employed at the gym as a coach. This is something that we know is not true, or at least Coach Scott said it wasn't true because that would be illegal or against their Safe Sport regulations. He said he was still going to be fighting on February 22nd. Remember that? He's like,
yes,
I got that fight coming up February 22nd next week. I'll be there.
He's also supposedly fighting on August as well, was another one that was coming up, which probably isn't going to happen.
Well, he also said even that week that he was going to at least be at that event on February 22nd.
Right.
And then we found out he wasn't even there. He couldn't even just show up and support the guys that he coaches or spars with or whatever it is. I mean, what else? What am I missing, Moody? Any other examples? There's been a lot.
To do with this, he's misrepresented the whole process as well, but I don't know whether that's due to like an active lie.
His exit interview, he might just be dumb. Yeah.
Right. It's like, does he not understand what's happening or is he lying about it?
And I'm sorry that the snark is getting shorter with those guys, but when you're winning, just run the ball, run out the clock. That's all. I have
a theory about this, Moody. When he says I'm sorry, I don't think he is sorry. I think he actually takes pride in his smugness.
You're really going out on a limb there, Carl.
Yeah. What were we going to say, buddy?
He's said things like, this is about Safe Sport, but there's another one where he said, I wish that I could have told you guys the truth about this picture that I sent from day one. Yep. I wanted to be honest with everyone about it. Yeah. When the cops asked him about it, his response was, I don't recall receiving or sending a picture of her, which means
something I would do. I don't know.
Which means he lied to the cops. That means.
I mean, Moody, what are we going to start acting like none of us lie to cops? Come on. What are we talking about? but I don't sit here and tell you like I'm the gospel and everything I say you have to believe all the time. Whereas Aaron takes up this stance. God damn it. Again with this guy. Every time. He always has to take up the stance that, listen, I'm the only one telling the truth around here. So you got to believe what I have to say. Okay.
Clearly, dude, we've triggered the fuck out of Doom so bad that Doom doesn't even come in here and fuck around and have fun anymore. They're just mad. They tried to do this thing where they're like, oh, I can have fun with Aaron. See, I can fuck around. And then I think after the plea thing happened, because I think they all thought I was full of shit, which, again, tell me when I'm telling lies. I've nailed every element of all this shit. I've buried these cockroaches, and they still want to go, no, it's not going to be true this time.
Tell me when I'm telling lies. That was what really bothered me because we've caught this guy in so many lies. It's ridiculous.
Yes.
He pleaded guilty to revenge porn.
Which he said was horse shit. These charges, all the charges, the warrant was horse shit.
He also said that they could have beaten this. His lawyer told him, yeah, we could have won this if we went to trial. Then why wouldn't you go to trial then?
It's insane. It's insane.
Doesn't make sense.
If your lawyer tells you can beat it, if you go to trial for it.
Well, also the lawyer would tell you let's go to trial because they make more money that way. You'd be crazy not to.
He's like, so yeah, one of the things that's been crazy about these last couple of weeks is him saying that the $50 hurts him more than the misdemeanor. Like which is insane. Like I would rather pay $50 every time. Like this is,
of course.
If Aaron goes out to pasta buckets for dinner with his family and they're like, the bill is $50, sir, or you can pay with a misdemeanor. Aaron's going, put something on my record. Like,
do you want a parking ticket or do you want something on your permanent record? Yeah, I'll take the parking ticket. That's fine. I'll pay that. It's no problem.
Right. He
thinks we're all as dumb as he is. This is what it always boils down to. It's just like, we know that's not true and you're not fooling anyone with it.
And he's going to have to, like, his parents searching their names, like searching Imholte, are going to see his smug face with like news articles talking about how he has not only done revenge porn, like the revenge porn is in the headline for all of them, but it's talking about his history of abusing women in the articles. He's going to need to look his daughter in the eye as she becomes a teenager and
Smack her right in the
about
face.
this
Hey, bitch. You know my track record. You're staying out way too late with your boyfriend. Boom. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
That's not what he's going to do. He's a great father.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
it's how do you do that? I just don't know how he justifies any of this to himself. Like, if someone tells you you could have that not be in your permanent record, do that. you want that.
It's not justifying. It's called coping. It's literally the thing that he accuses everyone else of doing. He's constantly coping with this. Oh, misdemeanor. That's great. I love it. I love pleading guilty to gross misdemeanor. It's fucking awesome. I'm killing it over here. I'm winning.
It's very meta because he's constantly projecting, but he also projects about projecting. So he's like, everyone else just projects, which is and it's like these narcissists, when they end up like going to therapy and learning therapy terms, they don't get better. They just get better at weaponizing therapy language.
Exactly.
So he'll say boundaries, he'll say projection, and Darvo will start happening, which is the deny the claim, accuse the person, attack the person that's making the accusation, and then you reverse the victim and offender. Like, that is what he does. Constantly.
Spoiler alert. It's going to be true this time. So poor Doom, Aaron's kicked out of his gym. And I'm like, interesting. Scott and I, once again, like always, spoke yesterday when I was at the gym. Hey, we really miss you on Thursdays. I hope.
So this is great because where he goes with this, I don't think he was ready for it in his head when he started, because he's starting with, this is a horse shit. What are you guys talking about? Me and Scott are great. I don't know why you would think otherwise. Like, well, we just watched that video where Scott was talking about how he was making an example out of you. And don't conduct yourself the way that Aaron does because he can't be here with us anymore. That's what people were reacting to, not the anything Doom did. But let's see where he goes with this.
Hope that goddamn review gets done so we can just get back to it. Oh, man. Sorry for the L, kid. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't enjoying this spiral, you guys. I mean, the Onion community is kind of like the iDubbbz community right now. Just kind of... can't seem to get a W to save their lives. What happened, guys? Something come along and rattle you?
No, I'm not actually in search of W's personally, so I'm good.
Right.
But what the fuck is he talking about here? What is that? Why is the Onion community spiraling? And this is all in the context of this video of Coach Scott saying that Aaron will not be here anymore. He's not allowed to be.
Yes. I don't know.
Okay.
I honestly have no idea what he's talking about here.
No one, maybe being wrong about every.
No one actually cares about what happens in Aaron's life. It's funny. Like, there's zero that Aaron does that impacts any of us. We're just watching something.
Yeah, honestly, Aaron, I'm rooting for him to get back on radio. I know that's what he wants. That's what I want too. It'd be amazing.
Yeah, same.
If he was back on radio.
So
fantastic.
Everything. Maybe another third world aristocrat video that seems to shake your boy up every time? Or is it the fact that the horse you backed in the We're Gonna Get Aaron race is being recommended for 30 days of jail today? Uh-oh. Hey, guys, another win for the toe ain't no joke.
See, this whole thing where, so Nick Rekeita has been recommended for 30 days of jail. So he has to play the one drop that he has, the fucking applause thing. And then he's just like, see, I told you it's another win. That's not a win. It didn't do anything for you. Your ratings aren't higher. No one's giving you more money. You're not going to get a job on radio because of it. What are you talking about?
And who's backing Nick? Like, we're not backing Nick. We're shitting on Aaron. Like, and Nick is welcome to join us in doing that. He's been a first-hand source in some of the stuff that we've learned about that.
Right.
What happens to Nick doesn't impact any of this.
And nothing against Nick. Nick's been on this show a couple times. We've also had Chino and Keanu on this show. Nothing against Nick. I'm just saying.
Right. They were also shitting on Aaron. They came here and
There's
did
a common denominator that we're talking about. Right.
Spoken into reality. We already talked about this. Renewed my membership yesterday. Talked to Scott yesterday. Said he misses me on Thursdays. Did say he was going to you guys, though.
Oh, so this all of a sudden changed. So this has obviously been clipped. So later on in the show, he's like, oh, we already talked about this. First, he was going Doom's thinking? You guys think that this is some kind of victory? Now he's like, oh, actually, what happened was Coach Scott duped you all.
Yeah.
So he must have thought of this after the fact because he would have brought this up in the first place.
Scott has gone from someone who doesn't understand or care about the internet and says, you come down here, to now running like ops,
Yes.
which involve him lying and messing with everyone that turns up on Thursday evening, taking away time that they have for sparring and training
Yes.
to own the haters.
Yeah. Well, we play a little bit more of this, and then we'll get into the psyop that Aaron is explaining is happening to all of us.
So, ya bit. You want me to go take a picture with Scott this weekend? I think I'm going to the gym Saturday. We'll get a picture, and you guys can. You guys can cope with that and build some new fan fiction if you'd like to.
Okay, so he's saying that everyone bit on this bit that Scott was doing where he was pretending that Aaron was in trouble or did something wrong, and they filmed it on purpose so that Doom would clip it so that we would all see it, and he's like, wow, you guys fell for that. So I'm to believe that every person around him, where there's like, I don't know, 20 kids in there, more than a dozen kids in there, are all in on this? Or does he tell them after they turn off the camera, just so you guys know that was all bullshit? I'm fucking with haters on the internet right now. How does this make any sense? How deep does Coach Scott go into fucking with Aaron's haters?
He can't do that because the entire training is filmed. So we'd see him talking to the beforehand.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Of course he doesn't do that. Of course he's not telling, hey, by the way, guys, I'm going to set up this thing, but we're going to get Aaron's haters, and then Aaron's going to score on him. It'll be another win for the toe. You guys get it. Let's group, get around. Let's talk. Let's start this thing up.
He didn't say Aaron's kicked out of the gym either. That was a claim Doom made, I think, summarizing the general gist of it. It's not. He's not kicked out of the gym. That's what the argument. Aaron's shifted the goalposts to make it about that.
Yep.
What Scott was saying, he can't be here to do boxing anymore. The boxing thing, he's not allowed that. That's what Scott was saying.
Correct.
Doom mistitled. Doom, we're all disappointed. The curse is finally turned on Doom. So
yes, you're right.
The curse has turned. The turn has happened.
The turn
to the curse.
is real.
The turn of the
is
curse.
real.
Is Nick possibly going to jail today, or does he just find out today?
Okay, so then we change subjects. I do want to get into that. We are going to talk about it. But before we do that, supertip.gg/WTP. We got to hit the goal, people. This little piggy is all about the goal, as you know.
Guys, why can't you accept it wasn't me? Baron Imholte is also a member at the gym. He's a real piece of shit. He's the one who shared a photo. You internet people. Go outside already.
Very good, Ricky Bev.
Speaking of getting Aaron's name wrong, one of the things that happened this week was his Todd V. Peterson. Sometimes bad things happen to good people.
Right.
Aaron's very good attorney. Filed a letter to the in his case history that says Aaron would like to take a vacation in May between these 3 dates.
Yep.
He not only didn't address it to the judge, he addressed it to Aaron Imholte. So he got the name of the person he's addressing it to wrong. He addressed his client.
Yep.
He misspelled Aaron's name in in the body of the text. And according to Aaron, he got the days wrong. He didn't ask for the correct dates.
Jesus Christ. What a great attorney he's got. Now, in this attorney's defense, Aaron has to send a request to his office to write a letter to the judge or whoever he has to write a letter to, which is way beneath an attorney's time. So that gets pushed off to a paralegal, someone making $11 an hour.
Yes.
And they suck at their job and no one's looking over it. So they do it all wrong.
Yeah, so I think what happens is they've got a list of the parties and they clicked on the wrong one. And so it would have been a formatting thing, but he got almost everything you could get wrong in that he got wrong.
But also what's interesting about that, and Aaron would never address, is that in order for him to take a vacation with Slam Piece to Florida, which obviously was Slam Piece's idea, because he even says, yeah, she was thinking, or we decided we should go to Florida. I wonder who wants to go to Disney. But even when he was, for him to just take a vacation with his girlfriend, he has to pay money to his attorney to write up a legal document or write up a letter to send in order to get that. It's not a great way to live.
Nothing changes in his life, apparently. He said that he doesn't need to ask permission. He just
Right.
needs to let them know,
Okay.
which isn't what this seems to be.
No, it's not, because wouldn't he be able to write a letter to let them know? He has to have his attorney do it.
Maybe he needs to, like, once he's on probation, he can talk to his probation officer rather than going through an attorney. But at the moment,
Okay.
he needs to go through
Fair
the
enough.
attorney.
After learning I got kicked out of my boxing gym, I got so depressed that I bought a raw trout from the store, tugged my pecker onto it, then licked my own jism off of it. It reminds me of April.
I see what you did there.
Carl, Moody, can you speak up? Aaron and I can't hear you over our laughing at this.
Yeah, they're watching right now, cracking up, like, we got him. We got him with our prank. That's the other thing about Aaron explaining that this was Scott's mastermind to prank all of us, the psyop that he had, or gay ops, whatever Aaron would call it. Why would Aaron then blow it the next morning? Like, we all learned about this Thursday night going into Friday morning, and then Aaron comes out and goes, this was all just a prank that we had to fuck with you. It's like, well, then why wouldn't you keep it going if that's the case? You would.
It's just cope. The stuff he accuses others of doing, he's
right.
the one
Because think about it, Moody. He even said, he goes, what if I took a photo of me and Coach this weekend? It's like, why wouldn't you just have done that? Why wouldn't you have been like, shit, you guys got me, and then post the photo on Sunday and go, I got the haters. You're doing it wrong. If you're doing a psyop, you're doing it wrong.
But why are you bringing Scott into this again? You saw what happened last time. Like, people started commenting on his gym, leaving reviews. It bothered Scott to an extent. But
it bothered him to the point where he was responding to every single review. It was dozens and dozens.
And that's sort of tapered off. So don't bring Scott into, but again, he tries to put him into the line of fire just to own the haters.
I'd give Aaron my man meat.
I would too.
What's a man meat?
It's a penis, you retard.
Jeez, very good.
Good luck finding someone to present my point of view. I'm the only one living in my reality.
That's the problem. That's the problem that we're running into. We've invited Johnny on this show in our defense.
Mm-hmm.
We did try to get Johnny Crutches on. Is this the Paul Shea? Happy Easter, guys. Thought on the new setup is we can't see the hidden meaning behind his shirts now.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of problems with the new setup.
Do you
think that's the real Paul Shea right there?
I think that is, yes.
No shit. Hey, Paul.
Yeah.
Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah.
Hope to talk to you sometime soon.
There is a chance that Paul might be at Hackmania. So if that,
I didn't want to say it.
If that happens, that'd be a great surprise.
Paul Shea, the host of the #1 morning show in St. Cloud, Minnesota, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Very impressive. BMID, pumped for the Ice Up show tomorrow. Thank you very much. The Ice Up will be playing at Johnny's Irish Pub. I think that's on Culver Road. That will be tomorrow night, 8 p.m. If you were in the Rochester area or Western New York area, come down. Check out the Ice House. We got some brand new go-go dancers debuting at this show. James R. Super excited for the show since we don't have to hear Melton yelling nonstop. # Melton sucks. This goes to your theory earlier, Moody.
Mm-hmm.
There's someone that hates each of us.
We could have received this message last week, but with Carl instead of Melton.
Could have. I saw it.
Right.
Chaos Queen says, thank you for being the bigger person and allowing rewind. Some of us have actual jobs. I just don't know how to do that. I've been meaning to ask Patrick one of these days.
The purpose for shows that don't allow rewind.
I get it. So everyone's on the same page in the chat.
Right. So that you don't
sense.
have people responding to things from an hour ago, right?
It makes sense. But Chaos Queen, good to hear from you. Thanks for checking us out. Of course, that's my lovely sister-in-law. You've all met her. Nick Niablas, $10. And Aaron said his marriage wasn't in jeopardy and April was still living under his roof. He laughed at people who said he was swinging and doing drugs, and he initially lied about snitching. He lies all the time. Remember when people were saying April was doing coke and he said, I will not stand for that.
Right.
This will not be discussed in my chat. You will be blocked if you do that. He was lying.
You forget though, he apologized for the 6 months of the show when he was telling lies.
I don't forget that. I remember that very well. It's like, guys, I know I said the show was awesome, but it actually sucked. You said it was awesome every day. No, I know, but I was lying. I knew it sucked. Oh, cool. AO 1012. Most of us think Nick sucks. He's a child too. Listen, Nick's done a lot of really retarded things. I totally agree with that.
I think there's a lot of people who are very justified in thinking Nick sucks, and he
Yes.
will need to work very hard in order to win people back.
Yes. I'm not
That's
sweeping for Nick. I'm not Zamboni driver for Nick.
no.
We like his perspective on the
but
Aaron
also,
story.
You realize that life is quite long, and like a period. People will have bumps along the way, pun intended.
Yeah,
and
like Patrick's
those-
face.
or the
Am I
ones
right?
left next to Aaron's kids. But look,
Nailed it.
like that, mistakes happened along the way, and people need to be given the space to recover. But there's going to be bridges that they burn that are not recoverable or not redeemable, and I guess it's up to them to live with that. And that's what's ahead of Nick. So
Frank Neeblis,
what to
$5
him?
says, let's not forget Aaron also lied about texting back and forth with Gino about Compound Media and lied about the timeline of April's abuse allegations. Very true. So he claims that April was only saying this stuff because it was his ex-wife at the time. They were still married. It was 2022 when she was sending the abuse allegations.
Gino does this so much as well. He like says someone going through a divorce will lie just to make the other person look bad, even though this was like a year before.
Yep.
Over a year before any divorce. 2 years, I think,
Correct.
before the divorce happened.
Yeah, no, this was in the middle of April being the regular co-host on the show. But yes, there's been so many lies about that time period, and he came out and started telling the truth. Then he actually like, see, I always tell the truth. And I swear to God, Chad Zubak said the same thing too. He's like, I tell the truth eventually. It's like, yeah, when you get found out, when you get called out and people go, you're lying. He's like, all right, you got me. Like, that doesn't make you a truth teller.
There's also like lying by omission, so that if you purposefully misunderstand something, or you don't say something, even though not saying it makes people assume that that thing didn't happen, that's a lie through omission. And Aaron loves those ones too.
Queefer Kumia gets super tip Stutterland. You think everyone in the gym has looked up what the toe did? That's a good question too. The fact that Scott's talking about, hey, he did some stuff. He was in court. He sent some pictures he shouldn't have sent. Like, if you don't know the story, you're like talking to your buddy, like, wait, what did Aaron do? And then you're going online. And I know that if you search for Aaron Imholte, what shows up is not Steel Toe Morning Show.
Not just Aaron Imholte, just Imholte, just his last name. He's ruined his entire family's last name.
Grape says, Carl, can you clarify if SJ gave consent for his audio? Why would he? Why is this a thing? I know that VTM started this, but I don't understand what anyone thinks. Yeah. John told me to play super embarrassing phone call conversations between him and Kate Meany. He's like, I can't wait. It's going to be great. I wonder if Pat O'Brien gave permission to TMZ when he had those voicemails. Patrick Michael at Stuttering John M. I guess he's back on X Stuttering John. He was off for a minute there. All right, let's get back to...
That hasn't stopped any of the content about Stuttering John coming. I don't know how you guys can keep talking about him when nothing's happening.
Wow, did you see the cop video?
Yes.
See John getting pulled over? That was pretty incredible. I mean...
all right, yeah.
And then he called into MLC this past week to make up a completely fabricated story about all of us going to Stevie Tomatoes for a meetup on Thursday. And John was there. Our meetup was at 8. He left at 7:47 and then called us out cowards. So that was fun too. I mean, there's always something.
Chad did something similar, I think, when they were at the Borgata a couple years back. He, during the period when they were upstairs, he was like, where are they? Yeah.
Yep.
They were too scared.
That was happened on this most recent Atlantic City meetup with him and Rob Saul. Weren't they supposed to fight or something? Wasn't Chad and Rob talking tough? And then Rob was
all these people who talk for a living. All these people who talk for a living want to fight each other. Why don't you just talk it out?
Yes. Yeah, no one's looking to fight. We're podcasters. It's ridiculous.
Right. Says Ozone. I don't know for sure. I'm not really sure whether he would go today or not. It's kind of at the discretion of the judge. He could say that Nick goes in today and he serves his 30 days. More than likely what happens in Minnesota, if you get a 30-day county jail sentence, is a lot of people serve it on weekends. So it would be a 30-day jail sentence that would be served over the next, 15 weeks or so. So over the next 4 months, I don't know. Like, he doesn't have a job, so like he doesn't work. So I mean, I'd just rather bang out the 30 days and be done rather than have the next 4 months of my weekends just completely taken up by going to jail.
All right, this is all just kind of filler content, but also that's retarded.
For Aaron,
would you want to be in jail for 30 days straight, or would you rather go in for a couple days to get back to your house, to get back to your family and friends? Like, wouldn't that make way more sense? Especially if you don't have a job. What do weekends even mean? I don't have a job. I work all day Saturday and Friday. Like, I don't,
right, but he makes his money during the week. If he's not live, he's not earning anything. So going for 30 days for Aaron would mean missing 4 weeks worth of goals.
Right, good point.
He do it during the weekend. That'll soften the blow to you financially.
Right, yes.
Plus, you'll have jail stories.
Yeah, he would have to. But I'm just saying, like, I would much rather do weekends than 30 days consecutively. That'd be a nightmare.
But then turn it into content. Start sending messages to people in jail from your show and your listeners. Like, there's a lot you can do if you're sentenced to jail.
So you're saying I should get arrested?
It'd be the best thing that happened to you.
All right, let's talk about more of this off air. I'm liking this idea, Moody. People don't know that Moody is my podcasting consultant.
Right?
Because of some really good ideas.
Tell him all the things he does wrong. He's like the knob for the volume's broken though.
Then you're let out just long enough to get used to it, and then boom, report back to the jail again. And then you might have 5 years of probation with the drug monitoring and the alcohol monitoring. So I mean, you need all your energy to focus on staying sober because you have an addiction. So to add on to that, the pressure of going to jail every weekend, I think the smartest thing to do, if they do give him the 30 days. Now, again, I'm betting they don't. I did read online that usually, but not always.
He has to focus his energy on staying sober. Therefore, it would be tough to just do weekends.
Right.
Aaron just talks to talk. It doesn't mean anything.
I think he's meaning like a cold turkey thing, like a 30-day detox, so that he can at least start without craving alcohol or any sort of drugs. But I don't know. He talks the talk.
It doesn't make sense.
Frequently, but not always, the judge will go with the probation pre-sentence investigation recommendations. So there is an average chance that the 30 days does happen. I don't think it will.
There's an average chance. Okay.
And you're asking, why do you say that? I just think it's the safer bet because jail time has never been part of this. This was kind of a surprise to everyone. That doesn't mean it won't happen. But if it does happen, I think if you're an addict, you should just take that 30 days right up front, especially if you don't have a job. Like he's unemployed. Take the 30 days up front. You can do that. 5 years gets a lot easier. The 30 days, I do think he's going to get the community service. A 60-month prison sentence be stayed. Or prison sentence. Daylaw says he'll get booked today. Is how it worked. He'll get. Potato Head Case says, so he got jail time. I'm surprised. Well, you're always going to get a prison term that stayed. He's going to get a sentence for the felony.
Because that's what happened to Aaron for the HRO.
Mm-hmm.
So that's his experience with this. Where it's just like, well, yeah, if you slip up, they'll tell you this is you're gonna go to jail for this amount of time. It's like, oh yeah, Aaron, you're an expert on that, right? Got it.
Aaron refers to himself as a law tuber or someone on the same level as law tubers.
He's an expert in pretty much anything that he checks out. You know,
right?
Will be stayed in lieu of probation, and if he does the probation and he stays clean, it all goes away, and he never has to do the prison time. Much like, for mine, I'll do the $50 fine, but like if I f up again, there will be 1 year in county. So there's which I'm not going to, but I have no.
Whoa. So let's say that he eventually sleeps with another girl he's attracted to and thinks has a nice looking body. And then he sends a photo of that woman to someone. He would spend a year in jail for that? Or is it just any offense?
So
does it have to be a repeat offense?
I think he's saying that I don't think he's actually been sentenced to time in jail. It's like a minimum of 0, a maximum of 364 days.
Okay.
So it's something in that window.
Right.
And it's up to the judge to
got it.
to do it. But I think he'd be happy he'd be happy with like a year's stayed sentence for him as long as he's out of jail. He'd be happy with that.
Of course.
Which, like for him, with the way he runs his mouth, I don't think he realizes how dangerous it can be. Like he's talking about Nick having addictions and not being able to like
Control
stay
himself.
sober.
Yeah.
Aaron has an addiction to talking and saying like abusive things about people, and it's only a matter of time before he breaks those conditions. So does it happen in a year? Maybe, but maybe he needs a detox from.
It was again, not to say it was a different guy, but it was a different mentality in the same person. So I learned my lesson. I'm very sorry about what happened there. But everybody gets a jail term assigned to them, and then the probation is in lieu of that.
Got it.
But De La says he'll get booked today at the very question. I think he personally, like for his health, it's the 30 days. Yes, there's ways around that. Like clean, but it's going to be hard to stay clean for that long. The 30 days is best for him. That's hard to say because I want how he's been on social media and stuff. I think he needs. Nick's letter reminded the judge of how much an alcoholic drives the kids around. There were times. I think Keanu's stuff. Doom. I don't know if you saw Keanu's stuff.
This is where it gets into the next subject that I want to talk about. Go on.
But that was a thing. So one of the letters was from Kayla, who said, "Look, Nick helps me a lot with the kids, and he drives the kids around, and I wouldn't be able to take care of them as well without him here." And that's a real thing that happens when people go to prison or go to jail.
Yeah, there's 5 children in all different ages and all doing different things. Yeah,
the families end up serving a sentence as well. Like it's not handed down to them by the state, but it's de facto because there's another caregiver that's missing now. And that's one of the like tough things in the poverty cycle is like if one of your parents ends up in jail, then the probability of you having that second person to care for you goes down, and it's like. It's not good, essentially. So there is a point to it. It's going to be harder on Kayla if he is in jail, especially during the week.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, it makes sense to go. But for Aaron's point of view, he's an absentee father most of the time.
Oh, yeah.
Like
they wouldn't miss a beat. Right.
Right.
Like, we don't have to go to dance next 2 weekends? Great.
Right.
You hang out with their friends at home. Good.
You can be away for 30 days, and it's a more stable home environment for the kids.
The other aspect of this, and listen, I'm not getting into any family dynamics of the Rekeitas. I don't know anything about it, but just knowing families in general, you can only imagine when the husband goes to jail for 30 days, the in-laws are holding that over him forever. You know what I mean? That's going to be a sticking point for a lot. There's going to be a lot of Thanksgivings and Easters. Happy Easter, everyone. Happy Good Friday.
Yep.
Where that is brought up. Well, where were you for those 30 days you were in jail? You know, I can only imagine.
It's his audience. It's like all these people that saw him as a moral figure start like all that gets undermined. There's a lot that he needs to win back if he ever can. It's going to be difficult. But
let's get into the next subject. I'm done talking about Nicky Rackets already. Let's move on.
Right. So I think Keanu's stuff. Doom, I don't know if you saw Keanu's stuff yesterday about April's apology to me and walking back all that abuse bullshit. I know that people in your camp don't want to hear that, but it's another I told you so for me.
Okay. You just heard that. So Keanu says April walked everything back.
Mm-hmm.
And there was an apology. There's a little bit more to this.
I just wish April's apology was as public as her bullshit.
So he wishes that April would come out publicly and apologize for what? All right, I won't plant anything in your head. What do you think he's referring to here?
He's referring to the abuse allegations from April, saying things like he hugged her until she couldn't, like he held her until she couldn't breathe, as well as a slew of other things that she told to Kiki privately that Kiki was shocked by, but has never been repeated to anyone else.
As well as headbutting. And these showed up in court documents.
The headbutting thing, I think, is like someone summarizing what he was doing. April said he held me tight, pressed his head firmly into mine, and whispered evil things in my ear. I think that was reduced to headbutting, but
okay. It's awful.
I don't believe he headbutted her, but he still physically abused her.
Okay. So that you just heard it there. If you go and check out the Alyssa Clips channel, and you'll hear Keanu finally proving I didn't do any of these things. So I went to check that out. I want to see what he's talking about. And there's more to this too. Other things I might want to play on here, but let me get to, I think around the 6:52 minute mark is where she brings up what he was just referring to.
Drug test. I never heard her really. She rolled back on the things that she said about Aaron and fucking. She only ever told me a bad word about fucking Nick and what was going on there, and said no, Aaron was not this or that. So I can only go off of her word. But
that was it. April said no, Aaron wasn't this or that. What does that mean? What clears the air? What are we talking about? That said nothing.
It's a very vague statement.
It's as vague as it could be. Listen to Keanu on her show. She proves I didn't do anything to April. April said that Aaron wasn't this or that. Huh? It could be referring to anything.
It falls into the false dilemma again. They give you these two choices, which is April told me about abuse that Nick had propagated against her. So the stuff that Aaron did against her, because they're enemies, Nick and Aaron are enemies, didn't happen anymore because Nick abused her. Like it's so fundamentally broken.
You're
Both these men could have abused her.
Yeah, you're right. Keanu, the way she presents this, and I watched the whole clip, the way she presents it is just like, yeah, April is being manipulated by Nick, and Nick was really the problem. It's just like, yeah, but in 2022, April's being manipulated by Aaron, which we saw the court documents, the communications between April and Aaron's ex that say that specifically. They don't say this or that. They don't beat around the bush. It's very specific examples of the abuse that was happening. And now Keanu goes out here and goes, I talked to April. She said that was neither here nor there. Like, what?
Yeah, it's so sad to hear this, because Kiki, or like if it was just one person saying this without context, it's pretty horrible. But Kiki also builds herself as like a champion of women, and she's one of these like believable women. April is my ride or die. I love April. I care about her so much. And here she is like undermining the abuse allegations. Like some things that happen when abuse occurs is that this person may walk back things if they're scared of someone, or they might not be upfront about abuse that occurs. It's so hard for someone in an abusive relationship to actually reach out and tell someone about that. Kiki should know this because she's been abused in the past, and she had trouble doing that as well. Until now, she's able to talk about it, which is very sad for her that she was in that situation. Kiki can be a terrible person, but at the same time, not deserve to be beaten up.
I don't think she's a terrible person by any means.
I think she is. I think Kiki's garbage.
Okay.
I think
she's misguided and doesn't understand what she's saying a lot of the times. It says it anyway, but
she's given herself, she cast herself as a rock for April and then undermined all of that by going to April's alleged abuser and telling him all the things that April said about him. So it's like, imagine someone in a domestic abuse relationship has reached out to you while they're very vulnerable, told you all those things, and then you go and tell that person. That's their one fear, is that you tell that person.
All right, you bring up some good points, Moody. I'm not going to argue with you on that one. You're making some points.
April wanted to get out of this so much that she like signed everything in the divorce. People say it's because she had a bad attorney. I think maybe she just wanted to. I think
she got $5,000 out of the bank account and said, "I'm good. I just want to cut ties."
I think she just wanted to be done with it.
I have an ex-business partner who owes me thousands of dollars, and I was like, you know what? He doesn't want to talk to me. I don't want to talk to him. So I'm good. It was worth it. It's worth it to make a clean break. I never have to see him again. Moving on. I think you're right.
Let
me play the rest of this just to make sure I'm not taking anything out of context. I think that was the full extent.
Kiki has said she doesn't want to be like a security blanket for abuse. She's more than a security blanket for it. She's a flamethrower for domestic abuse at the moment. Like, she is propagating it further and making it happen more. Like, it's actually disgusting. Like,
The views expressed on the Who Are These Podcasts channel do not necessarily reflect the views of Who Are These Podcasts, but sometimes our guests will say what they feel. We don't stop them from doing that.
I'm
on
not.
this channel.
I'm a staple here.
That's true.
At a manipulator, former lawyer like Rekeita, promising her that he'll be with her after all this is over, but we gotta get Aaron. We gotta get Aaron. What do you know about Keanu? Oh, this is what you should do. Yeah, you should definitely lean into that. Even though she rolled back, she said one thing, it was his text, and then she said, no, that never happened. He wrote the text. But whose heartstrings are you going to pull at? The person that was fucking violently fucking abused. And I don't even blame her for that. I think she was being fucking mentally abused by Nick. So I don't even fucking blame her for that. But of course I'm going to go, oh, fuck. Fuck you, Toe.
All right, so she's all over the place.
It can be both. This
Yes,
person
of
could have
course.
been abused by both these people.
Correct.
In which case, like, one does not cancel out the other. It's, yeah.
Brian Johnson coming in on supertip.gg/WATP.
Carl, I left my panties under your bed. Don't let that bee Jingles find them.
All
I love
Lisa
that voice.
Boswell. I know
That
Lisa's
works so
great.
well.
I love Lisa. I'm glad she's on the board now. Nancram coming in.
To quote the late, great mayor of Toronto, Rob Ford, I wasn't lying. You just didn't ask the right questions. So, one town obtain being saws.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. That's a very good point, Lisa. Sometimes people forget that.
Nobody cares.
In case you're wondering where that voice came from, there it is right there. And over on the super chats, thank you all for being here. Thanks for becoming a member of the channel. 2 bonus shows every single month on here. Kim Smith says, Moody, what do you stare at when you talk? Not Carl.
Oh, you mean on this show? I've got one screen here and another screen over there. So my camera's above the screen, so I might be just looking down while that's happening.
Basically, Nick is Tony Soprano and Aaron is Vito.
I haven't seen The Sopranos.
Oh, Vito was the gay guy that when they found out that he was gay, they decided he needed to be taken care of. And so Vito scrambled away and hid from him for a while, but didn't last too long.
Based on what I know about The Sopranos, I don't think Nick is is Tony Soprano at all. That's way too.
I agree with you on that. Rich Rusa, tell your goons stop harassing me, Carl. I have an update on that. We'll talk about that because Aaron brings it up. I think that's the next thing I'm going to get to. Chad Zumimic, $5 says, I can't wait till his kids have social media and get sent all the embarrassing clips. You know what's going to happen. It's all on the internet.
Well, they search their names. I remember searching my name when I was like 11 and learning about the internet.
Oh,
so
like 11 days ago? Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Naturally negative $10. Thank you very much. Steely Toe really can't see the potential of weekends in prison. I'd watch a racket show where he looks at the cases of people he meets there at their request. Yeah, I mean, he could turn that into law tube content. You're right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be great. It'd be something that not anyone else really has on their channel.
It's just so dumb to say, if I was him, I would just go 30 days straight in jail and get it over with. It's like, that's crazy talk.
Yeah, but he's got
Epstein
5 kids.
chose weekends. Epstein did because he wants to do cool shit during the week.
Right. But
I'm not saying
also
that
he's
would
got
do the same kind of stuff.
He's got 5 kids that rely on him during the week. Aaron doesn't. So he's not thinking about his kids when he says something like that because he doesn't need to. Balin and Ashley will take over.
Cool Cut Casting. I'd pay extra to watch Carl debate Aaron. Hashtag the goal. I would love to do that.
Aaron,
I'd love to sit down and chat with Aaron again.
He doesn't debate. He'll just be like, you'll just cope. Like it's the same thing that happened with the Aussie guy.
He was just talking about Dean this week, and he was calling out Dean. It's just like, Dean asked you to do a show with them, and you refused because you didn't like his approach, and it's chicken shit. No, I'm not going to do an interview with you. You're chicken shit. Okay.
Also-
whatever your cope is, fine.
Dean has less than 1,000 YouTube subscribers and gets like 40 viewers on his shows. Like, what are you doing talking about
No, we're
Dean?
not. Yeah, we're not trying
Like,
to
but
A-log
like,
Dean right now.
Sure, but like,
I
not
know what you're
you. I
saying.
mean,
I
like,
know what you're
with
saying.
Aaron, it's like you are bringing way more eyeballs onto this person that you just don't like by talking about them.
That's true.
You've got to take that into account before you mention something like that.
Frank Niebla has $5. Says now Aaron listens to Keanu. When Keanu was against him, he said it's just done for views and fans versus them for Aaron. Oh yeah, for sure. He will. Gino. You can watch how many times he's flipped on Gino. It's been back and forth, back and forth.
Mm-hmm. It's us versus them and divide and conquer. That's the way he manages to manipulate people. So if he sees that there's a team against him, he'll be like, I like this person, but this person really sucks. I think that person brings down this other person who would actually be really good. And he tries to win people over that way.
Cool Cut Casting, the toe versus the homo. Is that how we're going to build this one? I like it.
Who's the homo?
I think I'm the homo. I'm the just do it in this situation.
Right. I thought it was like him having an internal struggle.
By the way, I do have a clip. Somebody posted this on Reddit, and I pulled this down for our show, and I forgot until now to play it.
Hey, a few more of those 20s, I'm a happy pig.
This is why the show is this little piggy right there.
Piggy,
Hey, a few more of those 20s, I'm a happy pig.
That's not AI. That is Aaron Imholte.
Mm-hmm.
Kiki is just adult. It's pretty simple. I don't know. According to Moody, it's much worse than that. Moody, shut the fuck up about Stutcho. Don't forget, this is the Dabbleverse.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't see myself as really in the dabble. I dabble in the Dabbleverse.
You dabble in the Dabbleverse. I give you that. Out in the chat, CCC agree with DMAS as the moderator of the debate. DMAS. Who's DMAS?
I don't know.
Fair enough. Adam Davies, 5 pounds. Opinions are like arseholes. No one is interested in Keanu's. That's fun. That's a fun one.
Yeah.
Ice Dancer. Okay, edit. Nick is Christopher. Also, Moody, you're gay. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Christopher is a very important piece, the nephew there. United States of Australia. Look at Dean is watching the show as we talk about him.
April's apology needs to be as public as the accusations.
April has never made the accusations publicly, Aaron.
Anything you say to me and my wife should be assumed to be public.
Right.
Man, I got to play that again. Those are so many great points right there. Thank you, Dean.
April's apology needs to be as public as the accusations.
April has never made the accusations publicly, Aaron.
Anything you say to me and my wife should be assumed to be public.
That's a great point.
I think the only accusation she's made publicly is about him eating cum.
Was that public? I don't think so.
She referred to it.
Nick made it.
Yeah, but she responded to him and laughed at it or something like that. Like she co-signed it during that time.
Okay, I believe.
I remember something like that.
I just remember her saying that this wasn't her fault. She was caught with coke, and they did it to me.
Right.
She was referring to someone doing something to her.
But that also wasn't public. Like she said that she hasn't been on a stream or anything since.
Well, that was on Twitter. Yeah, she tweeted that out. But
someone did this to me, right?
Voice Sarah says Aaron is just admitting that no one depends on him for anything when he says he'd do 30 straight days in jail. Right? Yes. Like that's a guy who has nothing going on. I can miss a couple golf outings. That's fine. Okay.
There was a thought that crossed my mind in that saying that he's just getting a $50 fine. Everyone said a lot of people in this sphere said like $50 is insane for a gross misdemeanor. That is like lower than a parking fine.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Right.
I think it could make sense if his lawyer had argued that Aaron is so poor and his income is so low that he can't afford more than $50 to pay. Like
that's
maybe everything's dried up for him and that's all he can really afford.
Well, that's interesting. Anonymous says April's abuse allegations were before meeting Nick. Correct. Before Nick was even in the picture, there was the back and forth between April and Ashley LaRue.
There was abuse allegations during the time when Ashley and April used to get on really well with each other. Once Aaron learned that she had made those allegations, He did divide and
conquer.
conquer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like he always does. Yep.
And it turned into us versus them. Yeah.
You know, so many times I made fun of Melton's face on the show today. It's working. he's going to turn us against each other. That fucking puppet doesn't do this show anymore. What a prick he is. Shit. Aaron told me to say that. Damn it.
I've made fun of his face. Some of the art coming in for this Tukey contest. Oh, like it is.
I love it.
So good.
I love it. Hackamania.com. If you're not going to Vegas May 9th through 11th, I don't know what you're doing, because we are going to be having a blast. Moody will be there. Moody will be in the States.
Yep.
I'll be there. Tukey, Dr. Steve, Weird Medicine, final show. We got Dick and Vito doing Biggest Problem in the Universe. We got a This Little Piggy live event. Maybe Paul Shea will be there. We don't know.
Maybe. Who knows?
A lot of cool things might happen. But here's the thing, Moody, you did Hackamania last year. And you know what it was like, where people show up because they don't have friends and family who are into the Dabbleverse or Steel Toe or this kind of stuff. Then they go, I don't know, should I go to Vegas by myself? Yes.
Yeah.
You should. Everyone has a blast. You as soon as you talk to people, oh, I'm so-and-so from the chat, I'm this person from the Discord, you get to know people immediately. You all have a similar interest. You have something in common. And you're in Vegas. So you're like, hey, let's go to the casino. Let's go out to the restaurant. Let's go do this thing. And it's just easy.
It's a very welcoming environment, and you will very easily make plans with other people just by being there to like go out to a restaurant together or hang out and do stuff that you usually
be a degenerate if you want. It's very welcome at Hackamania in Vegas. Also, we'll be hanging around everywhere.
Yep.
So we'll all be in the same
if I'm
hotel.
if I'm not looking for USB cables this year, I'll
if you want to find Moody, just look down at your shoes, and he's down there somewhere. You'll find him. If you haven't heard, WATP is doing a show in Boston with the Dick Show, June 21st. Tickets will go on sale next week. Save the date, June 21st in Boston. That's going to be a fantastic time at the City Winery in Boston.
You're full of events this year.
Yeah, we got a lot going on. I'll be in Detroit in September. Next month, I'm going to be in Dallas. I will be doing first Normal World Dave Landau show on Blaze TV. And then I'll be doing Alex Stein's show, Primetime with Alex Stein, the next night. That's nice. May 27th and May 28th. So a lot of things to talk about and promote. But let's get back to Aaron. I think Aaron wants to talk about me, if I'm not mistaken.
But I can understand where, for her own self-preservation, she went through a lot of psychological abuse at the hands of Nick. Like Keanu said, go watch the...
Oh, see, he loves this. Because like you said, Keanu makes it one or the other. Either Aaron's the abuser or Nick was.
Yeah.
And so Keanu goes, well, it turns out Nick was the abuser. And Aaron goes, see, go watch Keanu. She's got it all figured out over there.
Imagine how bad the environment was for her to be with Aaron in order for her to jump into the abusive, allegedly, environment that Nick has.
Or imagine how fun Coke is. That's the other part of this. Like, you will hang out with some scumbags if they have blow.
Yeah.
Like, all right, well, we'll hang out there. That's fine.
Okay.
Alyssa Clips thing from Keanu's channel. Carl lost his mind because one guy wanted a refund because he finally found out after all these years Carl's terrible at his job.
Okay. I love this.
Right.
I hate playing clips of me, but I'm going to.
Okay.
Because I just like pointing out, because Aaron doesn't talk about me directly as much as he does about like you and Patrick. So I finally get my time in the sun here.
He never forgets your name. For me, I'm tangential. So like he will pretend to forget my name sometimes. And other times when he's not thinking about trying to take a dig, he'll be like, oh yeah, Moody. Like,
oh, whoops. I mean, guy in the Discord. Yeah, right. So yeah, let's hear what he says there, because I'm going to play. This is just a perfect example. I know it's about me and it's douchey that I'm doing this, but it just happened this morning. So I got to address this, because there were people who I think clipped this or linked to the section of my show. Who are these podcasts on Wednesday with Adam Bush? We were just kind of shooting the shit and getting things going before the actual show started. And I brought up a few things that were going on. I'm going to play that, but hear the way that Aaron says it went down, and then we'll see how it actually went down. And just to show you the spin and the lies from Aaron Imholte.
Thing from Keanu's channel. Carl lost his mind because one guy wanted a refund because he finally found out after all these years Carl's terrible at his job. So he asked for a refund privately privately ask Carl, hey, your content was shit. It's like Stuttering John all the time. You've got nothing. You're a one-trick pony. I'd like my money back. What?
That's filling in a lot of blanks right there. I got a private message from a guy who says, hey, I want my money back. You suck at your job. We're tired of Stuttering John material. It's all you got. Like, he filled in all this stuff. None of this has any basis in reality. But he goes through all of it.
Shit, it's like Stuttering John all the time. You've got nothing. You're a one-trick pony. I'd like my money back. Wasn't even that mean. And then Carl went and said his full name on the air, spelled out his full name. Threw a bitch fit. It was embarrassing. Whoa. It was like watching a child not get the cereal he wants in a grocery store, only worse. Oh, it was so embarrassing. So that's not going well.
How embarrassing. I wouldn't want to show that on my show. So this is the thing that Aaron will do, where he'll be like, yeah, so-and-so says that this happened. He'll never show the clip. I'm going to show Aaron the clip. I'm not embarrassed by this. I mean, I did do the wrong thing, which I will explain. I'm happy to admit when I'm wrong about something, and I was very wrong about this. But you just heard Aaron claim that I was throwing a bitch fit, or what was I doing? I sound like a child.
That you were like a child that was in the grocery store not getting the cereal he wanted. Like, people say my analogies are bad. Like, this is...
Come on. Great.
The Lord of the Rings one was better.
Let's see what he's referring to. I want to call out the bitch boy of the day. It's a fun new segment I'm starting up over here on WATP.
Oh, cool.
So far I'm smile talking, but all right, let's see. Maybe I get angry and throw a fit in a minute. Find out. Oh. Yeah. Richard Rusa has put in a dispute through my merchant account services. Oh, weird. Aaron said that it was a private message to me asking for his money back, but I just said it was a dispute through my merchant account.
Which is like
very different.
People might not understand how big this sort of thing is.
Right.
So
this is going to do like Better Business Bureau shit if you get too much of this stuff going on.
There's sending a message privately saying, hey, I want my money back. And I'm sure...
And by the way, I got a few messages, people saying I bought it twice or this happened or that happened. And I go, what's your PayPal? And we take care of it. Any private... And I communicated with over 100 people this past weekend about getting their passwords and getting the stream and where's WATP and all that kind of stuff. And I communicate with all of them directly and I don't bring it up. This is very different than what Aaron said. There was a private message that I threw a fit about. This was someone disputing my merchant account.
You've gone to your payment. Is this through PayPal or through something else?
This is a credit card.
Okay. So this is someone who's gone to their credit card
Capital
company
One or whatever
and
it is,
said, fraud has occurred by this person. I need you to investigate this and get my money back. This will reverse the payment. There'll be an investigation. The person that is on the receiving end of this accusation will likely need to pay a penalty fee. And
I need to dispute it. I have a certain number of days to go in and dispute this to say like, no, you did get what you paid for. Okay, I'm glad you understand.
Like you need to send evidence. You need to send it'll take about like 45 minutes to an hour of putting together things to do that. And if you keep doing this, like if you're a credit card owner and you keep doing this, you will lose access to a credit card. Like you can't just go around doing it's a match you can only strike so many times.
Correct.
Okay.
He purchased Dabble House.
All right.
And then he wants his money back. And the reason is
because of the Simpsons thing?
Product unacceptable.
Oh.
All right. So the message was, he's putting in a dispute, product unacceptable. And I saw that and I went, what? What are you talking about? We put out all these shows. I've gotten nothing but positive feedback on it. So this is me addressing that. This is a bitch move. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah.
We had, I won't say the number, but we had a lot of people sign up for Dabble House. And the complaints I got were WATP didn't process right away and it wasn't available the next morning. It's up there now. Everything's there. You can still go to dabblecon.live. You have a password. Everything's there to watch. If you don't, you can still sign up for it and watch it if you want to. Nobody's complaining about the content. It was fantastic.
Yes.
It was great shows all weekend. I had a blast. Everyone seemed to enjoy it. It tells me this Richard Rusa prick is like, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll pay the money to be able to watch it, and then I'll get my money back.
Sounds like an acronym. I'm gonna figure this out.
Could be ROOSS.
Grant, what?
So you see why everyone's like, he spelled his name and everything, as if I was giving out his last four of his social security and his home address. It's because producer Chris said it sounds like an acronym. So I was like, all right, let's go with that. What do you got? You know, so I told him, whatever. It doesn't matter. People will be able to figure out what Rusa. If you figure out how to spell that name, it's not that crazy. You think it's another Tim Duransky?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Is that what you're thinking? Yeah, silent shape. All right, that was the end of it. that was the whole thing. You saw my meltdown where I realized no one likes my content anymore, and I'm a one-trick pony, and that's what this person wrote into me. So let me tell you what happened with this, because this is kind of interesting, in my opinion. So I go on there, I see this note disputing the charge that says product unacceptable. I go on there thinking this is a person who bought it knowing that they would do this in order to get it for free and then dispute it after the fact. I should have checked my email before doing this, because this person has communicated with me multiple times, and we communicated over that weekend. What happened was he didn't get the email with his password. And this happened to a lot of people. I'm sure it went to the spam folders. These things happen. So Friday, I'm doing shows. Saturday morning, I get up and I start checking email, and I'm responding to everyone who's having issues, and I'm making a lot of responses to people. And so I see his email and I go, oh, I look up in the system. Here's your password. Send it to him. He goes, thanks, Carl. Awesome. This dispute came in days later. He had put it in Friday. He tried to stop it Saturday once he got his email and was happy and was able to watch the content. It had nothing to do with the content. So he goes, Carl, I heard you call me out. I'm so sorry. He sent me a long email where he was apologizing to me, which no apology necessary. That was a dick move on my part. I've learned my lesson. But he goes, Carl, I feel so bad. I told my credit card processor not to go through with it, but there's no way to reverse it at this point. So it's still going through. And I said, dude, don't worry about it. I'm fine to like fix this and make it right. He's like, I'll give you, he literally offered me more money. I'm not making this up. He offered me more. I'm like, no. Don't send me any more money. That's my bad. I shouldn't have called you out by name. I just thought it when you were being a prick. And that was a dick move. But you could tell that none of that was malicious. I wasn't angry about it. And that would be less than 0.1% of the people who gave us money for Dabble House. And Aaron's like, it's all crashing down. Carl named one guy who didn't enjoy what he did.
I think there's like it's like 3% or something. If it goes above that in chargebacks, you start to get restrictions. It's a rare thing that shouldn't be happening all that often. So yeah, maybe not the best way to deal with it, but also there's no.
I definitely learned my lesson. It was stupid the way that the way that I dealt with that. I have a bunch of more things that I want to get to, but I also know that you brought some things. Do you want to watch Johnny fall out of his chair, and then we'll switch to you?
All right, yeah. Do you have a hard out today? Do you have a hard out today, or can you go longer?
I can go a little bit longer.
Okay, all right.
I have to.
In that case, let's watch John.
I have to write and record jokes for the Isotopes tomorrow night, but I can hang out for a little bit. But let's watch this. This is funny. This was put up on the subreddit, Steel Toe Boring Show. And I just love the disrespect that Aaron has for his co-host. These two really deserve each other.
There's a like Adam Bush was going over this, is that he gives Johnny zero dignity. Like he doesn't allow him. Johnny has a degenerative physical condition that, and parts of his life are not going to have dignity. It's not fun having MS and having your body fail. And
not.
Yeah, he's doesn't do him any favors here.
Twitch, so
Yeah. Not by choice.
I think you can skip forward.
I wasn't pointing.
Like 40 seconds or so.
All
Yeah.
of that and standing as much as I was, like, completely fucked up my back. So I was having really bad muscle spasms all day yesterday. I didn't get any sleep. I kept like planking out in my chair. I was doing my best. What did I told Digger when she asked what was going on, I told her I was doing my best Matthew Perry impersonation. Because every once in a while I just straighten out and start doing this. I was like, no, this is my Matthew Perry.
Oh boy. Oh, and down he goes.
Yeah,
Watch
it would
Aaron.
be so funny if you couldn't get back. Oh no, now it's not funny. See, if you struggle any longer than this, now it's not funny.
Just take the camera off because I forgot this chair is slid back.
Oh.
Take the camera off.
Yep.
This is embarrassing for me. I'm trying to climb back up in my chair, and it's not going well. And Aaron
Right.
goes, let's leave it up. This is good for
It's-
steel toe.
It's like when he makes him walk in and out of frame when Johnny used to come around and all of that. It's just like this guy his body is failing him and he's asking for a little bit of dignity here while he positions himself back in his chair.
Do you remember, this is going back a year or so, do you remember when, so Johnny used to go to Aaron's house to do the show and he would struggle to get back there behind the desk and then he had to take a pee break and he'd struggle. And Aaron bitched him out for like kicking out a cable or something or knocking the outlet out or something.
That was
like, Johnny, God, he's fucking ruining the show. Like, dude,
that was the day that I think Mersh made him cry.
Oh yeah.
After he got up for like the second or third time, he tripped up over the cable and it cut the stream.
Oh, look, that's classic. All right, let's watch this.
Oh no, people! Do I have to wait? No, wait. You might have it though. I was gonna take you off camera, but then you started figuring it out.
This is the part he doesn't want on camera, Aaron. This is specifically the
guy
part.
Some music. Hold on. Let's play him. Let's play him some music. Hold on. I'm not gonna get to it before you get back up. Shit.
Well, you say that. You have too much faith in
You're almost there.
Yeah, I am.
Jesus
You're gonna
Christ.
eat lightning and you're gonna crap thunder. You kind of
All of that last 15 seconds was the part that Johnny's like, hey, can you just take me off the screen? And then once I'm back up, we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Nope. I definitely need this for my content. We're going to show.
He leaves the camera on Johnny when Johnny cries, but when Aaron cries, he takes himself off camera. Like he gives himself so much more grace and freedom than he does.
Go figure, yeah.
The cripple that he brings on
you
this
kind
show.
of look like a fish when you're struggling.
Yeah, a little bit. No, I forgot that I slid my chair further back for your show. So this bit is funny, but it does rely partially on my feet landing against the surface to stop me sliding out of the chair. And that surface is
There's nothing better
right
when
now.
there's nothing better when a comedic act out turns into a struggle.
right, dude. That turned into a real life Matthew Perry struggle. I was had my neck pushed in a little bit there. I was almost Floyding myself.
You had your neck pushed in?
Yeah.
I had my shit pushed in big time, bro.
Dynamite. Roy Sombrero putting that in the Steel Toe Boring Show. Thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks, Troy. But it is a real bummer watching that. Like this guy doesn't want you to see that, and his friend is the one. I just don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable.
It needed to be talked about. Moody, while you're pulling up what you're pulling up, I did get a super tip in. Supertip.gg/WATP.
Hey, Moody. Mom wife says to dumb it down for Frazzle Grin. He's less a concept guy and more of a point and laugher. Who's Frazzle Grin? Is he coming on later?
Thank you, Deep Service.
One of the things that's been happening this week is Aaron's struggle with the new sign came in last weekend.
Sure did.
We didn't talk about it too much, but we did talk about it on NLO. So Patrick went over it. I sent in a presentation to him, which showed quantitative evidence that Aaron's camera was blurry, and I demonstrated that using an algorithm. And Aaron's managed to fix it somehow. So one of the things he did is he figured out in OBS that you can change the resolution of a camera, which he never did for his old camera. So the same thing that he could do for his old one to make it better, that he got a new one for, he did. So he did that. The second thing he did is we talked about how it was not in focus, that the camera was in focus, and he was well in front of the camera, therefore it was out of focus. Rather than learning how to refocus his camera, he now sits right up against the sign. So if you watch any of his recent shows, his back is literally against the wall.
Yeah,
like
he looks so
figuratively
uncomfortable. Yeah, it's like and he used to be in a space that was, I always thought it was too much.
Right.
There was too much surrounding area where you're looking at all of his background, you're distracted by all the stuff on the walls and everything, and you can see his keyboard and him shuffling around his mouse and everything like that. And now it's just zoomed in on him, but he's also just like in the corner. Like this.
It's
and he's complaining about it too.
uncomfortably
He's just
close.
he's like, yeah, I don't like where my headspace is at. I don't like how this is set up.
Yeah, if you've bought a good camera that has facial detect autofocus, you can get super close and it'll refocus on you. Like that's that's the setting that you need. And he's instead just done it with like the most focus you can get on the screen, which is his background, because that's all flat and it will all come into focus all at once. And it's just, I love that his back is literally against a wall now. It's perfect.
This won't last long. He's very uncomfortable. You can tell he's uncomfortable. He complains about it. He has to put this sign up because a fan made it for free and it took him weeks to make. So he feels obligated. He's no longer the Steel Toe morning show, which I understand. He does the Steel Toe evening show. So now it's just Steel Toe show. People have pointed out how dumb it is that there's the metal on the sole of the boot.
Yeah, he's got tap shoes.
Yeah, you wouldn't have. That's not how steel toe boots are made. It wouldn't make any sense. It wouldn't be very comfortable.
He's got tap.
Yeah, it wouldn't help at all. But did you have something you want to present?
Yes. Let me.
Anytime now, Moody. I brought this up 5 minutes ago. I was already
Sorry,
stalling for time.
I wanted to talk about some of this stuff. All right. So Aaron talked. We watched him talking a little bit about the pre-sentence investigation for Nick and the recommendations that come from there. You're sharing the wrong thing.
I sure am.
Amateur hour.
You are correct. Oh, now it's my fault.
Yeah. So Aaron's got this this pre-sentence investigation, same as Nick, that he needs to go through. So this is just in his own words. I wanted him to show you what he's saying it is.
Period. You know, a lot of people, when they cop a plea deal, they then try to go out publicly and go, "No, I didn't do anything wrong." You know, so they got to go through this pre-sentencing thing where they have like, they got to make sure you're not a violent person or anything like that. They got to make sure you're not taking the plea and then claiming to be innocent. You got to go through that whole process, because if you do go through that process and they find out this person's a disingenuous piece of shit, they can tear the whole thing up. So I got to go through this process where they ask me, you know, hey, you know, did you do this? Did you do it? And I'll be like, yeah, I did it. That's why I said I did it. And like, okay, we're just checking. We're just making sure. Because if they start, you know, looking into it, they call it a pre-sentencing hearing and domestic violence check. They got to make sure I'm not a big, violent, scary guy. And then they got to ask me, you know, hey, between you, me, and offense post. I don't understand what kind of idiot like they get in these screenings. I guess when you deal with career criminals, I suppose you get some dummies, but I don't know what kind of dipshit you would have to be for like the probation investigator people to go, hey, between you, me, and a fence post, and hey, I'm your buddy here. You really do it? And then the other person goes, no, I was just fucking with those idiots. God.
So basically, he's going to be investigated to see if he shows remorse, if he actually claims that what he did was a crime, and if he was guilty of the crime, right? So this was on the day after I think he was that he went to court. 5 days later in the morning show, he got a super chat and he responded to it like this.
Better. JB Gunner says, I've never known a dude that didn't share a pic or two with their friends. I'm going to be very honest with you. And we talked about this last week. I didn't know it was illegal when I did it. I really didn't. I didn't know that you couldn't text your buddy a picture of a girl you're with. I didn't know. I mean, look, ignorance of the law is no excuse for breaking it, 100%. But
hey, I knew it. But you gotta love that. It's just like, listen, am I guilty of everything? Sure, but it's like, no, just it ends right there. Just the law is not
already it's being softened. It's like at first it was
everyone does this.
Stupid.
I just saw. I don't know if this is the same clip, but I just saw him talking about like even Chad Zumach said that.
Yeah. Okay.
Everyone's
So this
done
next clip, this was the morning, the evening show.
Can I just point out before you play this?
Yeah.
The fact that so now he doesn't have the whiteboard behind him where he can put up the leaderboard. So now he has the scroll going with the people who have donated money that week. This is so Dark Side Phil. Mm-hmm. This is specifically what Dark Side Phil does, where every time you tune into him, it's showing who gave him money and how much money, and it's pathetic amounts of money. It's got people who gave $5 scrolling across the bottom. That's where Aaron is at.
You know, the reason for this though, what I think it is
Please.
I think that the aspect ratio of this sign that's behind him, which is sloppily, and he's got the frame here, but he doesn't mean to. He wanted it to fill out the entire background, but it's a wider aspect ratio than the camera frame.
Sure.
And so this part at the bottom was showing. So he wanted to cover it with something. And so he put the strip in there just to make it look more shiplappy behind him. He didn't want the wall showing.
Right.
That's,
Okay.
that's what I think is happening there.
This is his worst look yet. I honestly, when I first learned about Steel Toe, it was when he had that big crazy logo thing behind him in April, and it was the 2-shot, and it looked like a show. I didn't have a problem with it. Was it the world's greatest logo? No, but it is what it is. It's fine.
It fit the like, I'm a radio guy first, and I'm just doing this YouTube thing on the side.
Yeah, I honestly, that would be the last thing I would mock about him.
It communicated. That's what it communicated.
The aesthetics of the show was fine. It's gotten so much worse. In every iteration, it gets a little bit worse.
Yeah. Just as a side as well, they chose Times New Roman as the font for the sign. The O is not in line with the T and the E. The S is up and to the left, and the L is slightly too high. Like it's not in line at all.
Not only that, but it's also, you can align things either as to the left, or you can center them, or you can do. It's none of those things.
No, it's shifted slightly to the left. Yeah.
Yeah, because the steel and the toe are not aligned in any single way where you can see, I guess, show might be centered under L, but I'm not even sure about that.
Yeah, I would have put toe right up to the left and then made show like a stylized thing that makes this all a block. But
yes.
Instead, he's like, just put the show in blackface and have the boots stepping on it. And the font he chose for this, the ticker is Arial. So he's choosing the most default of fonts. Like the next one's going to be Calibri. It's Times New Roman at Arial. It's sprinkle some Jokerman and Comic Sans in there while we're at it. But okay, so he was talking about like everyone does, like it's I didn't know it was a crime. All right, this is the next iteration.
No, I did see. Was it Numero Uno or was it Buzamak who put the picture, the clip up today of Chad saying that he didn't think I should have ever been charged with anything. He thought it was a bullshit charge. I appreciate that. I mean, you know what I've said from the very beginning.
Can you pause it real quick? You gotta love when he goes, look at even Chad Zubak thinks I didn't break the law. Chad has stalking charges. He's stolen credit cards. He was telling a woman to unalive herself over and over again throughout the course of a day or maybe multiple days via email. I've seen all of the messages where your life is worthless. You have nothing to live for. You should end it all. This is the guy who's going, I don't think Aaron did anything wrong. And Aaron's going, see, this guy gets it.
It's
maybe that's the one where you just go, well, thanks for having my back, but you know, that's fine. We don't need to discuss it any further.
There is, I don't know if you were aware of this, but do you know about Atriox's situation and what happened with him?
No.
He's a streamer. He's a streamer, talks about economics and that sort of stuff. He was tabbing out of one of his windows and it showed that he was watching, like he had tabs up of deep fake porn of some of his like friends' girlfriends and that sort of thing up there.
Maybe I did hear about this.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was like he was absolutely caught out doing that. And he came up, he like owned up to it. He took like about almost a year off of streaming, started to like invest in like, how do we discover deepfake porn so that can be taken down, showed actual remorse. But one of the things I remember him saying is like, there's going to be people out there that are going to jump to my defense saying that this is normal. I don't get what the big deal is. If you're one of these people saying that, go fuck yourselves. I did this thing. It was bad and I shouldn't have done it. Like completely distancing himself from the actions and sort of learning growth and showing that he wishes to change. Aaron is saying, thanks for having my back, guys, to someone who says,
yeah, everyone does this. It's not a big deal at all. What the fuck?
Right.
Did I violate the letter of the law? Yes. Did I violate the spirit of the law?
Yes.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? There was a victim. There's a victim who filed charges because they were victimized. And Aaron goes, I don't know. Was it the wrong thing to do? Pfft, probably not. Wow.
It's outrageous. Like, just
that is outrageous.
From a showing remorse perspective, it's outrageous. When he's talking about only idiots don't pass the pre-sentence investigation, this is the sort of language that we're talking about.
This is
and
precisely it.
And as a father, like, all of that aside, as a father to a daughter, is this the kind of world and expectation that you expect of men to act? Like, is this how you want your daughter to be treated by people around her?
Moody, you and I have exchanged numerous text messages together, whether in our group chat or directly. Have either one of us ever sent a nude photo of a girl that we had sex with to each other? It's never even crossed my mind. It's not something I do with anyone.
If I received one from a friend, they would no longer be a friend. Like, we are fundamentally opposed. And
I don't know how you get there. Right. Yeah.
Quote, he said, well, then we're all guilty of that crime. And, I appreciate that. It does take a lot of balls for someone to admit that, because I see a lot of like fake pearl clutching from a lot of dudes, which is embarrassing, where they're like, oh, how could you ever? And Chad just came out.
Wasn't Aaron just calling me out for like freaking out about a guy who did a chargeback on a thing? And he's just like, oh my gosh, Carl, he's fucking losing it. He's fake pearl clutching all the time. He loves it. He loves it when there's a clip of someone going out there and it's like, someone made a mistake on their stream. Oh my God, I can't wait to talk about what an idiot they are.
Right.
Said it. He goes, if, sending off a text is a crime, then Chad said, then I'm guilty. We're all guilty. And I was like, you know what? That's an honest guy.
Rather than saying, hey, guys, I know a lot of you think this is normal. It's fucked up and it hurts people.
Right.
Like, that's how he should, like, someone who's like come out of this, like, reformed and learning from his mistakes. I fucked up. You guys, like, we need to act different and do better as men. Instead, he's saying, it's just guys being guys. Like, we're just violating the privacy and intimacy of women that trust us. That's so normal.
I'll go a step, probably not further, but backwards, and say, if you want to receive additional nudes in the future, don't do this. You don't want women to think like, oh, he's going to share it with all of his friends immediately.
Right. He didn't just share it, though. He made a copy of it and gave it to Gino. Like, this is, I don't, it's just disgusting. Like, he's got 2 daughters and he thinks that this is the way that men do and should act and are expected to act. And I don't know how you could be that way as a father.
No, he's also a shock jock, though, Moody. You got to remember, he's got daughters and he's a shock jock. So he's got to balance those 2 things.
Okay. So that's one of the things that I wanted to share. The second one is I wanted to dig a little bit into what he likes about broadcasting and the way that he deals with haters and the language that he uses around that. Because I think he's let some very interesting parts of his philosophy slip this week. This is on Rumble, so.
Oh gosh, I have a clip from this morning's
show. I miss shit like this because podcasters don't know how to do this. They get too wrapped up in it, and then they go on Discord after, and they're fucking insane, and they're mental patients. Anthony's a radio guy. He knows that it's a shtick. He knows that it's an act. He knows that it's, there's kayfabe in this. And that he can kind of get things going and then walk away from it. It's the walking. This is what I have to explain to all these amateurs. It's the walking away that makes it great. If you just keep it up after the microphones go off, then that's boring. That's not as fun. It's the walking away and then coming back the next day like nothing ever happened. That's the mystique. That's the prestige. That's the fun part.
As long as you're not walking along across state lines, right, Aaron? like there's Aaron's one of the only people really I can point to who have been in real life affected and impacted by podcast stuff.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I mean, what we were just talking about, his arrest was based on what he did on his show.
Right. He took the picture on his show and he sent it while he was on his show.
Yep.
It's just a constant, like he's the one person that doesn't walk away. We live lives that have nothing to do with Aaron.
Correct.
After this,
it's crazy. The other thing I didn't point out when he was talking about me is like, I'm a one-trick pony, only talks about Stuttering John. But then he also acts like all we do is obsessed with him, and that we're nonstop thinking about him. It's like, neither of those things, but sure.
It's whatever happens in Aaron's life, I'm here to watch it and laugh at it, but it's zero impact on me. Like it won't change what I do in the next day.
If he went away tomorrow, we would still all do shows and communicate with each other.
Yes, and probably stop doing a show about Aaron eventually, like after a month of him being gone or whatever. Once it stops being interesting or funny, we'll move on, and there'll be other stuff to worry about and laugh at.
Be other piggies out there for us.
Hey, a few more of those 20s, I'm a happy pig.
Last clip that I have that I want to show is him talking about how he enjoys trolling other people and what he thinks trolling is. It's from the same show.
How am I toxic?
Let me count the ways.
No shit.
Right.
That would be like me riling up Doom and Patrick and all these people in this So Thorough Joe Burrow, getting them all going crazy and making them do their little missteps and their miscues. And then me going, I don't understand it. How am I controversial? I don't really get it. How am I antagonizing anybody? How am I poking at people? I don't get it.
He is trying to postulate that the entire economy that's built around Steel Toe, including shows like this show, is part of his overall plan. He has puppeteered us into doing these shows.
Moody, I'd argue, especially shows like this show.
Right.
And this is what I call, get ready for this, coping.
Right.
This is the definition of coping and he said this before, where he goes, nobody gets clipped more than I do. I must be the most interesting person in the Dabbleverse because Real Media Player and Stalin 19 and So Thorough Joe Burrow and Doom, they're all clipping me. Will Heron, sorry, I didn't mean to leave you out. They're all clipping me. I must be so interesting. No, you must be the biggest boob. That's why these people clip you, because you're laughable, you're mockable. That's the whole point. But this is what coping is. When you go, obviously I'm the best at this because everyone's clipping my show.
By his logic, Chris Chan is a better broadcaster than he is.
Of
Infinitely
course.
better. More professional, has more
Boogie is way bigger than him, obviously, in the locale world. I mean, the list goes on and on. King Cobra, Cyrax. So, yeah, Aaron is in that world. Like I brought up Darkside Phil earlier. That's where he's at. And he spins that into bragging about it. Yeah, look at how amazing I am. I don't see people clipping Moody.
Right.
He doesn't embarrass himself very often.
It's interesting to
that's
clip
kind of the point.
I know what I'm doing. Every time I poke and taunt and manipulate and fucking get these people on my puppet strings, the girls over at Pretty Antisocial, I know what I'm doing. It's fun for me. The fun part for me is that it's not fun for them. That they're playing for keeps. Someone to go.
Oh yeah. They're having a real tough go at it. Clowning Aaron. I can't remember watching that show where they're just like, I don't know if we can continue on with the show. I mean, he's just getting over on us every turn. What the fuck are we doing?
The fun part for me is that it's not fun for them. He enjoys the misery of others. Like that's where he's extracting his lols. Like he's perceiving that other people are hurt or like actually in pain due to things he's doing, and he gets pleasure out of that. That is like Machiavellian stuff. It's real, like it's bad stuff as far
it's lying. He doesn't enjoy it. He doesn't want the Pretty Antisocial girls ripping on him as they do. He doesn't want this little piggy. He pretends he does. What he wants to be doing, and Moody, I know he's so far gone from this that maybe it's not even in the realm of possibility anymore. So now he's leaning into this new world where all the Clippers pull all the embarrassing stuff. I mean, he's trying. There's a great So Thorough Joe Burrow video that I have on here. We're not going to get to it on Monday's show where he goes, we're not begging today. We're not begging today. We're not begging today. And he misses the goal and he goes, God damn it. And he knows that when he begs, that it gets clipped and people make fun of him. And he knows that he's in a world now where people are watching and analyzing and goofing on him. He wants to be Anthony Cumia. He wants to be the guy who's triumphant. Hey guys, I'm returning to the radio, and they just offered me a bigger contract than I even agreed to, and I'm getting syndicated. He wants that life so badly, where even the Kevin Brennans of the world, the people who want to hate Anthony Opie, they can't. They can't because he's winning. He's crushing it. Aaron wants to be that guy so badly, and so because he's not, he has to spin it and turn it into, no, this is what I want. I want pretty antisocial, and I want this little piggy, and I want nobody likes onions, all goofy on me because that shows how much I'm winning.
Right.
You're like, Aaron, you're not convincing yourself. You're certainly not convincing us. No one's buying this.
Would that mean that when Red Bar was going in on Melton, that he is a fan of Melton? Because
Melton was never bigger than when he was getting made fun of by Red Bar. Okay. So of course.
It's something else that just came to mind.
Oh shit, is he here? Is Mike David here? Go ahead.
So Aaron jokes about having a learning disability sometimes. He's said it tongue in cheek. I'm positing something. Aaron does have a learning disability, and it's got a name. The name of that disability is called dysgraphia, which is the inability to write very clearly as far as handwriting goes.
Oh, I have that.
If you look at handwriting of people that have dysgraphia, it's like these are intelligent people. Like this guy is, what is it? He's 26, has a business degree.
Isn't that the knock on doctors? Like doctors are highly intelligent people.
Right. But
they run a prescription. You can't read any of it.
Doctors is chicken scratch. Like they'll scribble.
Right.
This is like, I don't know if we can, zooming in on it. It's like, this looks like what's written on the board. Like, how he writes?
Yeah.
It's very similar to.
And you're calling this a learning disorder? Is that what you classify this as?
It's a learning disability.
It's a learning disability.
Yeah, it's called dysgraphia. It's like dyslexia that some people have. It's not showing up, but it's like
that's
dyslexia.
retarded.
It's like dyslexia, but it's the inability to write or make letters in a very clear way, and that's how he writes. It's a real learning disability.
Interesting.
So, thoughts and prayers with Aaron.
Thoughts and prayers with Aaron
as you struggle through the tough hand you've been dealt in life.
Yes.
Sometimes bad things happen to good people.
It does. That is the truth. That's what we've learned from. Pretty Antisocial is here in the chat. Shout out to those ladies. Do a great job. Colin Madden coming in. supertip.gg/WATP. We have a goal here, people. Let's not forget about the goal. Kirk Van Houten was a pretty big wheel down at the cracker factory. What brand of cracker did they make? Extra points for the description/slogan. Oh, we're back to Simpsons trivia now. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
No one told me there was going to be boasting.
I don't know the answer to that. If anyone knows in the chat, please let us know your Simpsons trivia knowledge.
I don't have Simpsons trivia, but if you play like a 1 second clip of a Beatles song, I could probably tell you which one it is.
Oh, are you a big Beatles guy?
I was obsessed with them when I was 15.
Okay, so, I'm still obsessed with them. What's their best album go?
I have a soft spot for Sgt. Pepper's. I really like that.
It's a great album.
Yeah.
You think that's their best?
It's the first one I bought, and so I listened to it over and over.
I'm not going to disagree with you. I think Abbey Road's their best, but I could be persuaded in other directions.
Look, the what is it called? The Golden Slumbers, sort of that triple. It's so good, but
it's fantastic. Yeah. I always thought I was a Lennon guy over McCartney. I'm like, no, Lennon songs are better than McCartney. And then you watch that Get Back documentary. I'm sure you watched every minute of that. Yeah. And you go, holy shit, Paul McCartney's amazing. He kept that whole thing going.
He kept it going, but also the way that like a song comes to him, like as it, because you know what the end product is, and you see it sort of coming out from the fog is brilliant. Like he's fantastic.
I'm getting goosebumps. I'm embarrassed for myself right now.
He does get real, like, this turned into Beatles cast, but like he does have granny music. Like Maxwell Silverhammer shouldn't have spent that much time on it. It sucks.
I like that song. I know everyone hates it.
You like it as a song, but like it didn't justify spending a month on recording it.
But they had that guy who like hang out with them actually hitting the thing.
Having an anvil, yeah. Like you don't need that.
so
Like
stupid.
it doesn't deserve that.
Diablo sandwich Shoebox says Johnny looked like first man crawling from the ooze. Yeah, I agree with you. That was what he wanted to avoid when he said turn my camera off. Just take the camera off, says Big Daddy Down now. That's all it would take. BMC, my favorite Aaron is the one that thinks he's a peer of Anthony Cumia. Listen, this is how you broadcast. This is why all these podcasters don't get it. Anthony and I, we both get it. I remember, I think the last time I ever texted Aaron was when he was praising Chad Zumach and saying, Chad gets it. Like me and him are radio guys, so we understand this better than everyone else. And I went, okay, now I know you've got out the D. I forget what I wrote to him. I'm like, really? You think Chad's got this figured out?
The line "Chad gets it" should not be used,
no.
Unless it's like, unless you have the word "even" before it. Like you're using it as an exception,
right?
Frank
Neblas, $5 says, how does Aaron feel that everyone is better and more profitable at the Aaron business than Aaron is? Again, he would spin that. He'd like, that's how interesting I am. Everyone wants to talk about me and they're all making money off me. It's the same as Stuttering John. I'm the most famous guy in the Dabbleverse. That's why everyone talks about me. They're all jealous.
I could tell you, I've started to think I can think like him. What he would say is, look, all those other shows are just chasing the next hot thing. I, meanwhile, only take what I need. So that's why I have the goal. I'm not interested in raising a penny over the goal, and I don't like it when I have a penny underneath. We just take what we need. These other shows are milking the audiences, and I think that that's unethical. Meanwhile, I'm actually looking out for your interest by telling you exactly how much I need to pay.
I saw someone post on Reddit that Aaron's LinkedIn says he's the CEO of Steel Toe Inc.
Well, technically, yes.
No, it's fine. You can. When you start a business, you can give yourself any title you want. So it's fine because he's the CEO. Let me tell you something about CEOs and what you were just talking about. CEOs would be fired if they decided they only wanted to make a certain amount of money.
Right.
I want to make this amount of money this year. Yeah, but what if we can make this much? Nope. I'm not here for that. We need to make this much money. No, CEOs supposed to maximize profitability. They might even be making less money, but bringing costs down. There's a lot of ways to maximize profitability. It's not all about revenue coming in. But Aaron pretends that he's like a charity.
Yes,
he pretends that this is a charity thing that we do, and we just need to hit our goals for the charity, and then the kids can get fed and all the great things that happen. Meanwhile, he was bragging again about golf this morning. He went into detail about these 9 holes of golf.
Right.
And I just wanted to shake him. Like, Aaron, why would you think anyone cares about this? He's got
because
nothing.
he can't talk about boxing anymore, so he's had
That's
to talk
true.
about golf.
That's a good.
Like
that's a good point.
That's the reason.
I
But
think you might
yes,
be onto something.
it operates like a charity. You're absolutely correct, and that charity is Aaron. So when he fired, when he got rid of April from the show,
Well,
he
she got rid of herself, but yeah.
right. But once April was gone, the goal should have really gone down. And he says that it's gone down a bit to 320. I don't watch enough to know whether the goal is actually 320 or 350, but the goal used to be 350 always. And he would take off the amount of members. So he's like, we take the total number of members, divide them by the number of shows that we do a week, and then we minus that from the goal of every show. That was the calculation he did. He doesn't do that anymore. So that went up. He gave himself a pay rise in order to afford all the things that he said there were bills that needed to be paid. And so I need to pay those bills. And that's where my pay comes from. So when April left, his costs went up. It's a charity and he's the benefactor.
And he shouldn't be talking about any of this because we wouldn't be analyzing it. I don't have people talking about my income and figuring out like, well, what's Carl making and why is he making it? I don't bring it up.
You don't owe that to anyone.
Yeah, right. It's so stupid that he even brings it up.
Right.
Well, okay, I'm going to play one more clip and then we'll get out of here. This is
Okay.
from this morning's show. And this is fun because it really shows you who Aaron actually is. Is he a radio host? Is he a podcaster? No.
I don't give a shit. One mulligan, and it was on it was not a tee shot. It was a chip shot on a par 5 on the 7th hole.
All right.
And I topped it and it rolled into the sand and I went, I'm going to take that one back.
I think I put
that was my one cheat. One cheat. That was it.
spot.
And because it was, I had a busy day yesterday. I had some clipping and the single ball.
This is what I want to talk about.
Broke one tee.
Okay. This starting right here is what I wanted to talk about. This is where you get a glimpse into who Aaron actually is. He doesn't talk about this a lot, but listen to what he says here. The busy day that he had.
And I only could get 9 holes in because it was I had a busy day yesterday. I had some clipping and some editing. I went to All Care, brought those guys a pizza. I went to Midland Armory, saw Derek. By the way, suppressors. You need suppressors. All things suppressors. They handle it all at Midland Armory.
He went on 2 sales calls. He went to All Care Towing and brought them a pizza. And then he went to the Midland Armory place and had a conversation with the owner, and the owner's like, yeah, we're really trying to move these suppressors. We're backed up with how much inventory we have. He's like, yeah. If you sign up on for me, I can make that happen. We can start pushing suppressors on Rumble. I'm telling you, this is what a salesperson does. He brings pizza to a client. These people aren't even clients. He's trying to get them back, it seems like.
He wants them to appear like clients.
Of course.
Yeah.
But how sad is that this is what he's talking about? He wants to be seen as like the big CEO of his company and the host of his show and a radio guy. And he's making sales calls, trying to suck up to these people to give them $20 for an episode.
I've tragically got some distant family who've gotten into MLMs, multi-level marketing schemes.
Yep.
And they talk like this. Like they're like, here's a snapshot, here's a screenshot of a Zoom call that I was in. I'm doing my own business. I'm the CEO of Arbonne. Like, talk to me. If you want skincare, it's the best. It's better than anything you get in stores. Here's me on a work trip. Here's me visiting a friend. Like they brag about business stuff. Yep. Whereas most businesses just do the thing that the business does, and they don't need to tell you about how great all these sales calls are doing.
No, that's a very good point. I have a few friends who have been in like Mary Kay or, there's a Cutco Knives. There's a bunch of these companies that rely on MLM. And when you hang out with these people, that's all they talk about.
Right.
Like, oh, we're talking about your work again.
Right. Because they try to turn every personal relationship into a
client,
a sales and a client thing. And so it's like, you actually start to strip the people you love of their money. He does, I think, a similar thing where he tries to turn every like listener or every one of those like little interactions into his own little cult thing where they pay him.
Colin Mann gives us the answer to his Simpsons trivia earlier. The answer is a Southern cracker, the dry cracker. I don't remember that one, unfortunately. So Thorough Joe Burrow is here. Speaking of Paul McCartney's genius, search Abbey Road Paul only on YouTube. The whole album, nothing but bass. Dude, his bass playing is fantastic. And it like switched. They were that the Fab Four pop band. I don't care about their first 5 albums.
Those songs just melt together.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And the bass playing is very rudimentary. And then all of a sudden, like he just flipped a switch, and all of a sudden his bass playing is genius. And I'm glad So Thorough Joe Burrow.
People rip on Ringo as well for not being a good drummer. I think he's excellent. He's excellent. He drums exactly what he needs to.
It's a different style than most rock and roll drummers. Very different, and fit that group perfectly. That said, did our boy Paul McCartney play drums on Back in the USSR and other tracks? Yes, he did. So what? He played a lot of instruments on a lot of things. What are you gonna do? Anonymous coming in.
Will you please both take turns coming in my mouth? Piggy needs his num so we can chalk up another win for the toe.
Hey, a few more of those 20s, I'm a happy pig.
I'm happy to say we've hit the goal, everybody. The goal has been hit.
I don't think I could physically do that. Like my body would just stop me from being able to
come in his mouth. What are you talking about?
Like, I don't know. Like,
you heard it here first, folks. Moody would not be able to physically come in a man's mouth.
It's just
no shit.
Even if like money or something was on the line, I just don't.
That's how your body works.
It's just not
excited about that situation.
And look, like why wouldn't you? Like if you could choose, why wouldn't you choose to be a little bit gay? Like, would you not want that as an option. Like
to have women out of your life forever. Yes, of course.
right.
Be amazing.
But I don't know. I feel like it would give you more options. You would be able to aesthetically enjoy the world more than someone who's only into one side. If it was a choice, I'd tick like, yeah, a little, but it's just not possible. I don't think it's possible. Yeah, welcome. This is what this little piggy would be like if it was just me.
Moody talking about how badly he wants to be gay.
Right.
That's how we're going to wrap up this episode. I can't wait. The worst episode of this little piggy ever is going to be how people declare this one.
Someone like Aaron is like constantly just so afraid of it. He's just like, no, that's gay. You know, like,
gay. Oh, you're so gay.
I'm like, I don't. Like, it's not something I subscribe to at all. I don't have a problem with people who are. And like, if you could choose, why not? But I don't. So it's not part of it. It's a moot. Like,
I agree with you. Hackamania is coming up May 9th through 11th in Las Vegas. Hackamania.com. Promo code WATP. You can't save more money with any other promo code. Don't listen to potatoes. They're idiots. You won't save more money than you will with WATP as your promo code at Hackamania.com. We'll be in Boston June 21st with the Dick Show and Blind Mike. Please save the date, June 21st. Tickets will go on sale next week. Moody, anything you want to promote while we're here, buddy?
Nope. That's just stay away from me. Leave me alone. I don't need more attention. Just, don't do it.
Love you, buddy. Thanks for being here. Dean, we'll get you on here next time. I should just send him the link. I always assume he's sleeping because it's, I don't know, some ungodly hour.
This was a different show with just you and me. I think it was fine. It was good.
It was better than fine. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah, the haters gonna hate. This was fan-fucking-tastic.
All right, Taylor.
In fact, I think Patrick Melton's fired from this show. What do you think about that?
I think you've got control of that. You don't have enough shares left to fire Patrick. You got to turn up more.
There's a show in town, it's going down. Every week we're back on solid ground. Steel toe slipping, but we're gripping. Got the tea to spill, it's always flipping. From April's scrim to Aaron's glee. Oh, this drama's just a spree. Polydrama, legal trauma. Another win, oh, that's the karma. This little piggy went to YouTube. This little piggy's on Rumble now. This little piggy's begging for dollars. And this little piggy's breaking down. Wow, every week we'll recap it slow. Tune in for this little piggy show. From revenge porn to felony, it's a circus, can't you see? The toe is bent, the goal is spent. His empire crumbles, all hell sent. April's playlist on repeat. Aaron's lies we can't defeat. The countdown's on, it won't take long to see this piggy squeal his song. This little piggy went to YouTube. This little piggy's on Rumble now. This little piggy's begging for dollars. And this little piggy's breaking down. Wow, every week we'll recap it slow. Tune in for this little piggy show. Oh, this little piggy ain't missing a thing. Just sit back, laugh, and watch the king.